Oh my god, I hate that. What is going on, everybody? My name is Jesse Coco, from the Ray them Equal. Aquí estamos con los la gente de Geeks I've ever. Sorry about that. Joining us always is the host, the most man with the plan, the Ayatollah rock and roller, the next big thing, Jace.
Sound like hot garbage.
Yeah, it didn't.
Wait,
I'll
what?
say it.
What?
You missed half of your intro.
Yeah, it's super choppy.
Why? Why?
It sounds better now. I don't know what happened.
Because he was looking way over here, yelling at a distance instead of looking forward and talking.
All right, let me try. Joining
I'll
us
call
is
him out.
my
Don't worry. You
co-host.
guys could not worry.
Joining us is my co-host. He threw me off. It's the man with the plan, the Ayatollah rock and roller, the next big thing. He will taste you. He will mace you. He is Jace.
That's the first new one you've come up with in a while.
I know, right? and joining us are two very special cosplay guests. Our first introduction is for Miss Catnip Cosplay. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah.
And joining us as well is Mr. Legit JohnSteven.
What's up? What's up, everyone?
What's going on? So before we begin, notably it's kind of it's very noticeable that he is not here today. But Keyblade Sonic will not be joining us today, so I will be covering the skinny as of today. For those of you that don't know, GameStop just released the PlayStation 5 bundle at the store locations this past Saturday. So GameStop will be doing more releases at their in-store, and it's actually made it a lot easier for people to obtain the PlayStation 5. Also, for those of you that in Texas, Akon has just announced that two of their international cosplay and band guests could not appear at the show this year because of visa border issues. Apparently, they are not able to get them the visas in time for the show, so they just flat out had to cancel. Also, shout out to our friends at the Ravens flock. They got sick with COVID, so we wish them the best and a speedy recovery. You know, remember, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, weaves of all ages, wash your fucking hands. Seriously, I've seen y'all go in the bathroom and piss and walk out, and then sit down and eat some food.
Oh, man.
That's why, and then y'all wonder why I'm so violent. Be throwing hands with you out the cons. All right, shout out to Chase. Sorry, not Chase. Chad, who says, "Hey, happy Monday." Chad will be performing at our party at Delta HCon this year. He'll be Chad the Jazz Man will be performing. Like I said, we're looking forward to that. And Pachinko's in the chat. So the show is barely getting started. We are hopefully going to expect more people. But no, thank you once again for joining us. And that's all I got for the skinny. It's been a rough week. It was a rough week last week. A lot of us, we went through the state of Texas as a whole. We went through a lot. I really don't want to get into detail because we actually had a live stream about that last week. We had that 5 days ago, and it was horrible. And so we actually had an original topic for today, but we've changed it to mental health awareness, for those of you wondering. So yeah, I mean, that is definitely one of the big subjects that we were going to cover. I wish we actually had a little bit more time to kind of promote and get more people's testimonies and stuff like that. But that's the whole part of being a podcaster, streamer, I guess, whatever I am. Jesse, drunk,
Shit poster.
shit poster. There we go. That's what's cool with the kids, right?
That is, yeah.
Yes. Or streamer too.
Yeah. Be so yeah, no, it goes to it's part of the gig. You know, when you do these things, you stream. You're gonna get people that are gonna heckle you, harass you, send you inappropriate shit, send you inappropriate pictures, send you the same picture but in different colors. Talking to you, Bojack, fucking asshole. Um, Jace, I told you about that story.
All your stories kind of blend together from inappropriate people.
Unfortunately, 10 of those stories are from the same night at the same con.
Man, the timeline for you just gets crazier and crazier.
I know it's more complicated than the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
If I want something easy, I'll just follow fate.
It's true. So yeah, no, we always change. And that goes with the show. And unfortunately, the people see this as kind of a bad thing. but no matter what happens, the show must always go on. Let's say something happens to me. Something has happened to me. I caught COVID, and the show still went on. Jace took over. Nothing stops us. What's up, Moon?
So some of our smoothest episodes were now in charge.
No, they.
They're real smooth for me. I don't know about everyone else.
Anyway.
Sorry, I was sharing that link.
No, you're fine. We're still bantering. All right, so today let's go ahead and introduce our guests. I know we already introduced them, but let's get to know them a little before we continue into our subject. All right, so since Legit Cat Place is currently doing something, we're gonna.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
I'm sorry,
You're good.
Catnip. I'm sorry. God damn, I'm mixing y'all's name. I'm
Legit
dyslexic.
Cat Place.
I know.
You put
I'm
both of
dyslexic.
them-
That was.
I am. I'm dyslexic, so sometimes I will
You're
fuck up. No, so Catnip Cosplay. All right, so tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you currently? I know you said you're not in Texas.
Don't give us your
I'm not
address.
in
Just
Texas.
say
Yeah,
that.
I
Show
don't
me
want
what
your
it is.
My full address,
Social security number if you could.
So I'm out here in Tennessee. I'm not originally from here either. So I'm from Chicago, but we moved to Florida when I was young, and now I live in Tennessee. Very different, like polar opposite places, but it kind of they're all in the South, not Chicago, but everything, it all blurs together sometimes.
Oh yes, the south of Chicago.
Yeah. But I am a body positive cosplayer. I've been cosplaying since 2008. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. I am a plus size body positive cosplayer. It's like a full title.
We do actually
Um,
have some of your
yes,
images
yes.
here if you would like to share. 'em.
Yeah, sure. I have been cosplaying since 2008. I started cosplaying as just like something to do at cons. For my first convention, I cosplayed as Tamari from Naruto. So real big throwback. But once I started like making my own costumes because it was something I had to do because I like sewing and things like that. But it was also I put in a situation where there are no plus size cosplays to buy. So it kind of spurred this whole thing of me just getting started with creating costumes and just kind of doing that. And now it's not like a hobby, but like not my profession either. It's somewhere in the middle.
Yet.
That peach costume is completely handmade, by the way.
Nice. It's actually really cool.
Thank you.
Okay,
Me and my
so-
friend did it together.
I have a question. I was going to ask you this before we went on the show. I
Sure.
thought I would just save it for. Okay, what the hell is this?
It's Kanoko from
Okay.
My Hero Academia. Her powers are mushrooms.
Oh shit, I'm not that far.
Her powers are fucked up.
That
Her
cosplay
powers
is also
are
100%
Making
made.
Mario bigger.
She could grow mushrooms in dark,
Yeah, she
moist
can-
areas like your lungs.
So, like, she poisons you, and mushrooms start to grow in your lungs, and she basically just like
So,
asphyxiates you to death.
Wow.
so
Rude.
whoever starts dating her, when they kiss her, they're gonna start tripping.
Depends. Like, I think it's a control thing. She can definitely use her powers,
Yeah.
like when and where. It's not like a rogue situation where it's like all the time.
Okay, because I was about to say these two definitely kind of go hand in hand.
They were actually taken at the same place.
Nice.
Wow,
So-
that's cool.
I'm
I have a
bringing
really
my
great
mushroom themed
photographer.
cosplays.
Right.
This was
Peach
Holiday
and
Matsuri
mushroom.
this last year.
We got. Let's see the Raven one more time. That's pretty good.
That's the
Yes.
most recent cosplay. I did that at MTAC, which is a Tennessee here in Nashville.
We gotta get out of this state more often, dude.
I'll be doing a
Nashville.
convention in Alabama next month.
I am going to avoid that state
I would like
for
to.
reasons.
Yeah, but hey, if I get to guest at a con though,
Free
That's
cup.
true.
Word.
it's
Tommy
in
Tom?
Alabama, Huntsville.
You gotta appreciate it when you start going to cons for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
We submitted for a con. I'm not gonna say their name because I might get in trouble with them. But
Probably
we had
will.
submitted panels late and they didn't approve them, and they're a tiny con anyway. They only have like
Oh.
6 panels for each day. Like Jesus. And
It's a starting point though.
Yeah, it is. And they're like, oh, hopefully you can still make it to the weekend despite the fact that we didn't approve any of your stuff. I'm like, I ain't got money.
Yeah, free
I
is
don't,
my favorite.
yeah, I only applied so I could go for free. I, I got kids. Leave me alone. I got a kid. Jace has like a bus.
You know nothing about my life.
Yes, I do. I just don't want to throw out your actual personal business.
I have one annoying child.
You made it sound like you had two.
She acts like two.
Oh,
She was my Vegeta when I cosplayed Nappa.
oh my god, that's
Oh,
Hey.
cute.
okay. So you
Fucking
said,
hated it.
what got you into cosplay?
It originally started as like me just going to conventions with my friends and wanting to dress up, and then it quickly turned into, oh my god, I can make my own costumes and just be a character at a convention. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. So it was more my friends that got me into it, and then the whole crafting aspect. I am pretty sure I have undiagnosed ADHD, and I will pour myself into a cosplay until it is completely done, and it'll be done. It'll be like 2 days of me just doing that. Um, so it helps me like focus and do something and be creative, which is something I really, really, really love. I love crafting and all collecting and things like that. So this keeps me busy.
Actually,
Keeps me off the street doing drugs.
Because you can't afford it. Because cosplay is expensive.
I
It is
know.
so expensive.
You can't
It
afford
is,
drugs.
I- all right, man. How much for that ounce?
It-
40.
You know how much Warblock can get for that shit?
yeah, right?
Warb was
Oh,
expensive.
like that stupid
Yeah, it
meme
is.
they shared on our stupid Discord. $30 for a shirt? Gross. And then his room is covered in Dragon Ball stuff.
It's
I
just
felt called out. I was like,
as you can plainly see from his background.
Right.
it's that entire wall behind me is Dragon Ball. Just
Right. Like if
Dragon.
I didn't spend money on costumes and like creating costumes and streams like that, things like that, I would just spend money on pops, which I have an avid collection.
I will admit that when I clicked on your link tree to share it, I saw that you have a Funko Pop profile where you share all of your pops.
My
And
collection is worth
I looked at
almost
it.
it's over $2,000 right now. So
Wow.
it's it. If you want to talk collections, one of these days we'll talk about the video game collection that's in the other room that's worth like $21,000.
We'll dedicate an entire podcast to collecting because we have to.
My strange addiction.
It's not hurting
G5E
anyone.
edition.
I've just spent,
Yeah.
It's
too
just-
much money on this.
It's like, I tried to buy a shirt at the store, but it said $10, and I was like, I want to eat this week. But then I went on Amazon and bought 10 new figures, and my total was $300.
Me with
Jeez.
legs.
Wow.
Oh, by the way,
I've seen this picture,
yeah,
I don't like it.
we're gonna dedicate we usually dedicate an entire podcast to collecting Funko Pops. You know how to save money by increasing your collection without breaking the bank.
Mhm.
Definitely, I know people are gonna give me shit for this, but definitely trying to avoid spending money at an actual con is one of the
Yep.
ways it can help. Unfortunately,
Mhm.
you're not supporting those businesses when you're not spending at the cons, but unfortunately, when you're in a situation like me, you know, where money is always like, you got to try to like. There are
Yes.
sometimes where I will see stuff at the con, the dealer's room, and I will be like, "Holy
Mhm.
shit, how much?"
Right.
Okay, that's $5 more than what they're selling for it on Amazon, so I'll
Mhm.
take it. Like, yeah, I can and there's some stuff that I'll actually find at the dealer's room that's cheaper than it is online.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's easy to not spend money when you don't have money.
Right.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, especially like I don't need to eat.
I don't carry cash. I don't try to bring my
Word.
debit cards anywhere because if I do, like if we go into Barnes and Nobles, I'm gonna
Yeah.
spend $25 easily.
How do you?
Yeah.
Okay, so question before we ask John the questions too. When people ask you for money, how do you respond?
I don't have money.
No, okay.
I don't have any money to give you. If I did, maybe. Like we have a large homeless population here in Nashville, and it does seem to be a like, hey, can you spare a couple dollars every now and again? I'm like, I don't have money. If I could help you, I would.
In Texas, in Austin, Texas, we actually have a homeless population problem. It's like really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this one dude who approached me and he asked me, "Hey, can I use your phone?"
That's
And
not nice.
I grew up
Yeah.
in my neighborhood used to be the hood back in the day, so I grew up in the
Mm.
hood. So you learn in the hood, you don't trust nobody.
Mm-mm.
So I didn't trust him, and I didn't want to say no. So he's like,
Right.
"Hey, can I use your phone?" And I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "Yeah, I just need to borrow your phone, make a phone call." No, perdón, no hablo inglés. No entiendo qué me estás diciendo. Oh, and
Word, true.
the guy's like, "Oh shit, my bad, bro, enchilada." And I was just like, "What,
Racist.
bitch, enchilada?" Yeah, so that
Unfortunately, I don't think I
Wow.
can get away with that.
You
so
could. It'd really confuse them.
yeah,
It was.
Start
Like-
yeah,
speaking German. That'll really throw them off.
no, like literally, because people assume that if you're Mexican, you're automatically brown skinned.
Yep.
Yeah.
We actually have people that are white, people that are black. We have Asians that
Mhm.
are
Yep.
considered Mexican citizens and speak fluent Spanish.
Right.
What's interesting, what I think would really throw him for a loop is if I did. I've actually been studying Japanese for about a year. I know, so such a weeb thing. But if I was like Nihongo, Nihongo,
Oh, Nihongo
uh,
Jozu.
yeah, like if I just was like, you speak Japanese?
Oh crap! You get the one weeb though who starts replying to you. Like fuck, a homeless
What was
weeb. Who would have thought?
Right. Well, okay, when was the last time you met a weeb that actually could speak fluent Japanese that they didn't learn from an anime?
um, last year.
They're so rare. It's like a
Was it
shiny
your
Pokemon.
teacher?
It is. That's rare.
There's a large there's a weirdly large population of people who speak Japanese here in Tennessee, in like the Nashville area, because we have something called the Tennessee Language Center, which is just classes you can take. But it was like a 15-year-old boy who was like fluent, but he was very white. And this was right at the start of me learning Japanese. So I was like, one day.
This kid showing off.
Honestly, and it was at a festival. We have a botanical gardens here called Cherrywood, something Creekwood, something like that. And it was a moon viewing festival, and he was showing off for all of our Japanese. I don't want to say like, what is the word? Ambassadors.
Mm.
Show off.
I got
Yeah.
a text. I'm sorry, I was addressing a text. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and also
Transition.
introduce. We're gonna transition to Mr. JohnSteven. How you doing, sir? Thank you for joining us as well. We're gonna ask you the same bullshit questions.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Nah, I got you. So tell us a little bit about yourself, man. I see. So I had approached you to be on the podcast because of this particular cosplay. Because
Yeah,
actually,
you can show it if you want to the viewers.
yeah, I got all your stuff loaded.
Oh
already.
yeah.
You damn Power Ranger fans! I swear.
Yes. Well,
Shut
Super
up.
Sentai and Power Rangers. Okay.
Yeah, Stu Ranger.
Yes. Oh, love it. Love it.
And then this one.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
So
Oh,
that
cute.
That's a
that
nice
picture.
ascot.
Thank you. Right. So that picture was actually like this past Saturday. So I live in San Antonio, Texas. So I am a Texan. You know, like born and raised, never moved out of state, whatever. And so I've had the cosplay for a while, but I wanted to do more pictures with it, and I wanted to do like casual cosplay, especially now it's like summertime, and like especially if it's not indoors, you gotta be smart, especially for Texas
Yeah.
heat summers, you know. And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go like that. I'm like, whatever happens, if I go out, whatever, then I can take the thermal off and then just take the wig off, ascot, and I'm good. I can go out. But one of my friends, I paid him to do a mini photo shoot, so I did those 4 pictures that were on my profile that I posted, and that was one of them. So he did a good job.
I noticed you've already split the group. Not by yourself.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not good. If you ever
Off
seen an
by
episode
yourself
of
in the woods.
Supernatural
Oh
or
no.
Stranger Things, you know not to go alone.
D&D,
Yeah,
don't split
never.
the party.
But the funny thing about that day was there was 2 events. So there was Comic Con at Alley, and then there was Weeb Saturday. So I went to Weeb Saturday, which was that one, and then there was other cosplayers that are part of like the big event that's happening on. like during October, and so they were all cosplayed as the group from Scooby Doo, but they didn't have a friend.
Oh,
I was like,
oh,
"Blast this, wow!"
perfect.
But it wasn't a guilt trip, so I'm used to it. I was like, I'm not gonna let that phase me. It is what it is. You know, I just did my own thing. I was smart. I didn't want to be outside all day with no shade.
You know
That's
what
where
you
it was
could
at.
do? You could always bribe a friend to cosplay with you. Hey, want some lunch?
True.
You
But
want
I'm
lunch
just most of
today?
the time I'm just a loner. Like I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I just go like maybe with one friend every once in a while, but like I go myself most of the time. And if it happened by fate that someone is like a group cosplay, like oh you need a friend or whatever, like cool.
Hmm.
But yeah,
I've never, honestly, I've never really liked group cosplay
What?
because, like, I'm a wanderer. I like to explore the con,
right.
and I don't really like the group wants to like look at this. They want to go check this out. I'm like, no, I don't want to check that out. That's kind of
Yeah.
dumb.
Yeah. I understand that. It's like with group cosplaying, it's like you're gonna like do good, like you're like same personality, you got this, or it's like we're different, personalities, and we're not gonna have the same common ground for that day. Like, okay, we need to be at this time, we're gonna take this picture, or like
Hmm.
we're gonna walk around the artist alley or the dealer's room or whatever. So it never works out like that, like perfectly. But it's different when you have cosplayer friends and you meet at different times and you have a common time where you're gonna meet up at. So
Right?
that's
Yeah.
different. That's different.
I've only liked cosplay groups whenever we were like, okay, let's do this for like an hour, and then
Hmm.
let's just go our
Right,
own way.
right. I feel like an hour is good because it's not too long, it's not too short.
Yeah, you don't want to. And what you were saying about being smart about cosplay, especially in the state of Texas, yeah,
Yes.
you don't want to pull you don't want to pull a Mexico because I went to the Pride parade dressed like Pikachu, and they had to throw me in the pool. So I was like dying of a heat stroke.
This dude
Oh my
overheating in a
God.
plastic suit.
No.
It
That's
was
the
like,
same as cosplaying in Florida.
oh god,
That's like
Lord.
1,000,000% humidity in Florida, though,
Yeah,
Yeah. There's
and it's
no,
100.
you can't wear body paint. Yeah.
there
Nothing like
was
that.
one girl in Texas at one of the conventions in Galveston that wore homemade body paint, and she smeared it on everything she sat on or touched.
Hmm.
Mm.
Like,
There was like a horror story about Homestuck cosplayers
Oh,
and the
oh
Sharpie and the alcohol
god,
in the bathtub, and it cost the hotel like thousands of dollars worth of damage.
oh
Mm.
speak.
a lot
Remember?
of
Okay, so
fabuloso.
Jace, remember that story we shared about where the cosplayers like smeared their crap on the wall?
I remember the story. I tried to
Okay,
forget it.
so it was the Homestuck people.
Of course.
Mm.
Just recently at
Let me
MomoCon
change
over
pictures.
this weekend, a
Hey,
cosplayer
That's
put a whole. Oh, look at you!
that's
yes.
That's super
adorable.
cute. Yeah, I love that.
Thanks. Yes.
Aw.
Yeah, with my cosplays, like I try not to do like popular ones where it's like, oh my god, like I like the
Hmm.
attention, but I like the ones that's like non-popular or throwbacks where it's like, oh, only the real ones will know it, and it's cool.
Right.
So that was one of them. So like at that one, that was Big Texas Comic Con last year here in San Antonio, and forgot her name, but she was a voice actress for Bubbles, so she's in a lot of stuff, and she was
Tara
Oh,
voice
Strong.
Tara
time.
Strong.
Tara Strong,
Yeah.
yeah. So she was there that weekend, and so I was like, well, I wanted to do a photo op, but I was like, it's just better for me just to do just at her table because I was like, it's like if you're gonna do a for me, it's like if you're gonna do a photo op, and I get it, like they're like the celebrities are humans too, so like some of them had like the plexiglass on the side, which is
Hmm.
cool, it's
Yeah.
whatever. But I was like, it's the same thing as like doing it in front of like their table, so I'll just pay that instead. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so I did that, and then she posted on her story that like my picture of us, and I was like, oh my god! So she loved it, and
Aw.
like for certain characters, I try to stand out where it's like, okay, they like people will know, but then it's like, okay, like oh, that's really cool. So that was one of those like casual cosplays where it was real casual, real comfy, and I had
I mean,
a.
it's Professor Utonium. I
It
don't think that's a
He's
is.
a
deep cut.
nah. I
It
mean,
was.
he's
It was real simple. I
good
loved
dad.
it.
He wins like good
Yes.
dad award.
And the hand, so in my hand it's the chemical X bottle, so like you can take it off, you
Oh,
can pop it off and on, and it came with the squishy, and that's what that is for Mojo Jojo. So you can literally squish him in there and I make him fit in the chemical X bottle.
that's really
I
cute.
So
was
it's pretty
wondering.
dope.
I was
Yeah,
like, what's going on with Mojo Jojo? He's having like an
yeah.
allergy reaction.
Yeah, it's because that storyline was like the girl, just kicked ass, whatever, before he went to the Comic Con, and then they're trying to squish him in there, but I want to do the photo op, so I had his head sticking out.
Yes, we got your. This is Ness, correct?
Yes.
Oh, cute.
But not just like normal nails. Like this is Bumblebee nails, black and yellow attire. And this picture was I think 2 years ago. But my friend that took that picture, he doesn't do photography anymore. But it was awesome. Like that was like the first time we actually got to like a legit photo shoot.
Mhm.
With the backdrop. Like that. And it was indoors. We had a good time. So I did 3 different cosplays, but that one was like really fun. I wish I had a yo-yo for that one, but I had the backpack and the bat, so it was good.
Do you still do the Power Ranger cosplay?
I do. That one's recent, so I'm working on more like Power
'Cause
Rangers and Super
I
Sentai
wanna,
cosplays.
I wanna. So I don't want to announce my secret cosplay on stream. I
Okay.
can tell you what it is after.
Okay.
But I did cosplay Megazord.
Nice. That's
Oh,
cool.
super cool.
That's dope.
That was completely cardboard, and one of
Oh,
the stupid Homestuck
yes.
cosplayers ripped off one of the shoulders,
No.
so we had to
As
glue
they
it back
do.
on there. Yeah, we had to glue it back
But
on.
that's awesome, man. Like props, man. Yeah.
Like that's one of those cosplays though. Like if you look at it, you can see like it doesn't like my arms or my body doesn't fit in the cosplay. Like my arms are like super low, and like I made these too big. This was my first time making a cosplay like this.
Right. Right.
And actually, so the funny thing about this is the guy in the green, the guy with the hat on.
Yeah.
He paid to take a picture with Walter and David,
Right.
and I wasn't originally included. And they actually called me over to take the picture with them
Oh, what?
as part
That's
of the
cool.
package. And so he sent me a free copy of the photo.
That's cool.
Nice.
How did I take this? Okay, there we go. I was like, how did I take this off? We
That's
do have a couple.
dope.
We do have a couple comments. You do want to address them? I'm sorry if I don't say your name right, dude. Ulysses Fart Knocker. I do very basic cosplay at a couple Texas cons, and some people get them, so I
Mhm.
don't get stopped too often. But then again, mine are kind of old and sort of obscure. I actually like the more obscure,
Yeah.
lesser
Same.
known
Same.
cosplays.
Same.
I saw a guy cosplaying Ryo, and this is Ryo from the Art of Fighting, King of Fighters fighting games, not Ryu from Street Fighter.
Right.
And he
Right.
wears orange and black, but
Mm.
and has blonde hair, and he looks just like Goku to a certain degree if you were
Mhm.
cosplaying the character. And I actually walked and I recognized him because of the pattern of the gi, because the sleeves are ripped, the pants are
Right.
kind of ripped at the bottom. He has a black belt, and he's not wearing shoes. And I walked up to him like, "Hey, how many times have people called you Goku today? Because I know you're not Goku." He's like, "God, almost everyone thinks I'm Goku. Like you're the first person that said, oh, I know you're not Goku."
Right.
I like those kind of cosplays though. They're really interesting. We found somebody cosplaying Alfred once. He
Ooh.
was Alfred, but with the little silver platter with the red phone on top.
Oh, cool.
Nice. That's cool.
My friend does a cosplay where it is a trench coat and like a brown hat, and
Mhm.
he calls it his ambiguous cosplay because people will come up to him. Are you Inspector Gadget? Are you blah blah blah? Are you this? Are you that? And every time he says yes and writes it down and like keeps a tally on this. He calls it his ambiguous cosplay, but it's a him just wearing a trench coat situation.
Trench
Right,
coat
Right.
yeah.
hat
Right.
cosplay. Here we go.
One of our Geeks Forever staff members, his nickname is Asian Alex, and he has a Constantine and Castiel cosplay.
Nice.
And that's the joke.
Mm.
Yep.
They even acknowledge that in the show in Supernatural whenever they mess up the timeline. The
Cool.
main angel's like, let's go, Constantine. He's like, and then Castiel's like, I don't understand that reference. He's like, of course you don't. And literally, it's the same cosplay. The only thing he does is change the tie because they're
Mm.
different colors. He'll just show up, switch ties. All right, I'm ready. And I'm like,
That's the benefit of like
if you
actual
don't take,
clothes.
you know what?
cosplay.
You're pissing me
Mhm.
off.
Yes.
Take
yes.
off the shirt and put it back on.
I want to see you get undressed, then redressed.
I didn't say all that. I don't want to see him undressed.
I want to
Seen
make
too
sure
many
it's
of my
official.
friends.
He's like, wash in, wash out. He's like,
I
do it
don't
again.
want to. I don't want to see any more friends naked.
Take
I've
off
already
the
seen
jacket.
Too many naked, unwillingly. Tired of that.
It was mentioned in the comments, the Alfred cosplayer that you're referencing, he actually passed away this past year, like the last 6 months.
No.
Yeah. They did a fundraiser for him.
I didn't know
Wow.
that. Fuck.
Wow. Sad boy hours. We're back. Just kidding.
For real sad boy hours.
For reals. Yeah.
And this is why we're talking about mental health today, because
Yes.
fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Well, cosplay is a
Ulysses-
way for a lot of people to deal with their mental health because
Right.
Mhm. It
you
is.
don't
It
get the
is.
opportunity. It's your way of venturing out and being social when I think most cosplayers are probably antisocial.
Agreed.
They wanna be
Yeah, I
around-
would say
yeah,
majority. Yeah.
they want to deal with
Say that.
people. But you get them in a cosplay situation, like it's time to open up, branch out. You're in a somewhat acceptable situation. And some people take it too far, and that's when we have
Mhm.
these types of things. We're talking about it.
Yeah. So fuck. I actually got to look into that now because I know he passed. I know we had a picture of him somewhere.
We'll make a note of it,
What?
We find it.
of that, and then
I would have
Yeah.
no. I would have to go through the either the Instagram for Geeks Forever or our Facebook page to find it.
Hmm.
And I don't want to do that right now while we're on the show. I'll do that after the show, or at one point. So I also want to give a quick shout out to Josh who runs Zeros to Heroes, the Absolute Zeros podcast. That's on Sundays at 8 p.m. Yeah, thanks for having me on your show. Y'all didn't even talk about Halo that much.
shut up.
Just throwing some shade.
Bruh.
He's like, hey, have you seen Halo? Because I'm trying to only have people on the show that saw Halo. You know, I don't watch that shit. So yeah, we were talking about mental health. So for those of you who don't realize, mental health is a very, very real thing that a lot of us that suffer from it. And mental health is different things. It's not all the same thing. Not everybody has anxiety. Not everybody has depression. Not everybody has, or and if we do, we don't all have the same symptoms. Not all of us are just listening to Green Day and walking through Hot Topic with an empty wallet.
Yep.
I only go into Hot Topic now for the Funko Pops. That's the only reason why.
Same.
He did some awesome cosplays. Alfred was his best, but he also did Raffi in the bunny suit. Didn't know him personally, but I talked to him, and when I saw him at AllCon, he was an excellent dude. Yeah, that's exactly where I met him. I met him at AllCon in Dallas, Texas, and he was a great dude. A lot of definitely fun to talk to. He was definitely great. He was pretty down to earth, cool dude, and that's one of the things that we will get into as well. But when it comes to mental health, there's a lot of things that happen, and people think that there's a lot of belief, at least there was back in the day, that if you have problems, that you can just, I don't know what the fuck people used to tell us, pray them away or some shit, or get over it, or push it to the side. Obviously,
Just be happy.
yeah, just be
Right.
happy. If you're sad, buy a Happy Meal. But
This shit don't work.
that shit don't work. 'Cause first off,
Not no more. Not
no, it
more.
don't work. Because first off, it's only 4 McNuggets and a small drink.
That chalky milk do be hitting though.
Yeah,
Yep.
I need at least 10 McNuggets.
Yeah.
When they give you that extra nugget, that's it.
Ooh, that 11.
Not all heroes wear capes. Okay, just let's put it out
True.
That nugget is special.
It is.
there. Right.
But when you eat nuggets, what's your sauce and wine from McDonald's?
Mhm.
What sauce do you dip it in with?
Legitimately honey. They used to serve honey for like their biscuits in the morning, but I have to come home and get like the little bear now. But just straight up honey on my
Nice.
nuggets.
McDonald's had honey.
They did a long, long time ago. They had
Wow.
honey for their biscuits. It was just a biscuit and honey, kind of like KFC
sold-
does.
Where I'm at, they
Oh.
have that as an option for it.
They do
Wow.
not have it anywhere near me.
No. Mine
I
is
get
sweet
honey
and
mustard.
sour.
Sour's
Sweet and
good.
sour. Yes.
I do like honey mustard if I can't get honey.
Fuck. Why does
Wow.
my McDonald's suck?
Because you're south.
Like, Houston South or Mexico South?
I'm not answering that question.
Hold on. You have my blessing.
Yes.
Okay, quick question, damn it.
And also with you.
Yeah. Dos
Faster
Santos,
done.
Dos
And
Santos
with
chanclas.
your spirit?
Yes. I'm ramen.
Hold on, no, hold on,
Oh, man.
hold on.
Get the
Yes.
chancla.
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
Dos
Solid
Santos
the deadly
chanclas
weapon.
do not have my blessing. No, okay, so I do suffer from anxiety a lot. I do have occasional panic attacks, and I suffer from depression. I've never actually seen a doctor, because of the way we're raised. So Latinos are raised
Yep.
differently than a lot of other cultures, to where, and it's very similar to how a lot of Black people are raised. We're taught growing up that it's something that you can just get over with. It's not real, and even to this very day, my I have a relative who slit his own wrist, and a lot of my family members, like, there are some family members that want to help him, and there are some that just like kind of insulted him for doing that, because that's just how it was growing up. And people I know it's a very toxic trait, and there's really no defending that, but at the same time, that's just how it is growing up, like in a very Mexican dominant, very macho, very small town. Because at the same time, you got to understand, like, education in Mexico is not free.
Mm.
That's why there may be some ignorance in some parts of the country.
Mhm.
Like, it's definitely not free. And then you see like 10-year-olds working at grocery stores, bagging groceries. So that's something that I've had to deal with. With the whole anime Matsuri fiasco that happened with Geeks 5 Ever, I had a mental breakdown because my
Mm.
grandfather who had passed away a couple months after that all happened. It all kind of played in together, and that's something that it's really hard for me to open up to people whenever I have issues. And that's kind of the reason why I'm not super involved with our cosplay community, because of the mental health. Sometimes I don't want to be around people. Like, people will annoy the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Like, I will
Right.
push people away that try to reach out to me. And it's bad. It really is. And like, but that's why we are here. As Geeks Fiber, we want to be the voice of the voiceless. We want to help people. We want to reach out
Right.
to people. And like, that is something that it's really hard to talk about, but it's
Yeah.
something that we will address. I want to start with any um as a person that suffers from anxiety, do y'all have any anxiety attacks or anything like that? Starting with Miss Catnip.
Absolutely. Um, so I do have a therapist currently, and my therapist has diagnosed me with chronic PTSD, um, from a lot of nonsense that happened in my childhood. But with that comes a lot of anxiety, financial insecurity, and depression, things like that. Lot of it. It's not just one. You have a diagnosis, and it's like an umbrella. It means it covers all of these areas. With that being said, I to like cope with the anxiety, it's there are so many things you can do, but it's just maintaining them. For me, I kind of describe it as like a wagon wheel. Um, like you'll be going along on your day, whatever, and let's say a rock or a stick just jams up your wagon wheel, and it's just immediately stops. It stops your progression. Um, with that being said, that could be anything that happens in my day, whether that be I woke up on the wrong side of the bed and I woke up with a headache, or I was sewing a project and my machine jammed.
Mm.
Those tiny little inconveniences don't affect me in the moment because I fix them, but then later on in the day, it'll be like an avalanche. It'll just come down all at once.
Mm.
As for managing that, my therapist, and I'm going to probably say my therapist a lot, uh, we're still working on actually coping with things like that because
Mhm.
right now my boyfriend and I are talking about moving out of the country, and that sends me
Yeah.
spiraling, completely spiraling, because I'm like, I don't know how to speak the language. I don't have a job. I don't have like a real career. And then it just like, it keeps going.
Right.
And with that, you have to just, my therapist's only thing is like breathe through it and
Mhm.
worry about what you can fix in these next 30 seconds. Don't worry about what you can't fix in like a year. That might have been a tangent. I'm sorry.
No, you're
No,
good.
no,
You're good.
you're definitely
You're
good.
allowed at least 3 tangents per episode.
With it being in cosplay though, for like anxiety, specifically with cosplay, I think the anxiety and social things is a double-edged sword, because while we may get into cosplay and feel really, really good, we're going to constantly compare ourselves to people on social
Yep.
media. And it
Mhm.
is the worst kind of double-edged sword, because you're sitting there like, why am I not as good as this cosplayer? Why don't I look as cute as them? Or you can be on the other end. It could be flip flop. One day you could be doing, oh, I'm great. I'm super confident. I feel great in this costume. I'm becoming the character. Or just on the other side. I don't look that good. I don't feel great. I don't want to be in this costume. My head hurts because of this wig. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, or the helmet. Yep, I feel
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
that's every cosplayer, I think, where we
Yes.
put on. It's kind of like that scene in The Grinch when he's getting dressed for the party.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
I'm
puts
not
on the
darn.
he puts on the skirt. He's like, ooh, ah, that's it. I'm
Yeah.
not going.
Yes.
It
That
just
is
affects people so differently, especially people who have like body dysmorphia, or maybe somebody who's transitioning and they do all gender of cosplay.
Right.
And it never, sometimes you have to take it, it takes a moment to get yourself out of your head. But to go down, like say you're in a hotel, to go down into that con floor and just be a different person. Because I'm going to be 100% honest, if I go to a convention, and I've been recently guesting at some conventions, you're going to meet the same person that I would be in costume or outside of costume. There's just no turning it off personally for me. But some people have a completely different persona, and I know those people, and
Mhm.
they struggle a lot with mental health because they don't want to let people in.
Gotta keep up that front, so it puts a lot of stress on themselves constantly.
It's a very
Mhm.
tight, like, I don't know, almost constricting feeling.
Yeah.
no. It really it's kind of hard to describe, but yeah, you feel like you're just in this box, just
Mhm.
kind of like a prison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's more of a prison, if anything. But yeah, no, I get the whole. I go to a lot of the cons in Texas, and I wear a poncho and a sombrero, blasting Tejano music, or I guess since you're from the north, we would call it music from Mexico or Texas. But down here,
It's
we
from
call it
Tennessee.
Tejano.
That's
I'm from,
Represent.
I grew up
Yes.
in Kissimmee, Florida, so
So
Oh.
I created this because
he
there
wanted to
aren't a
make the
lot.
most offensive cosplay, but for himself.
Yes.
So he made a
Yes,
Captain
I'm here
America.
for it.
Captain
Yes.
Mexico, I
He
love
made
it
Captain
though.
Mexico.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
So like I wear a poncho and sombrero, and like instead of a utility belt, I have a beer belt,
Yes, I
and
love
I have
it.
Oh.
like
You gotta
music
send us a
blasting.
picture of that. I'm excited.
Do I have a picture?
I haven't seen any good pictures of your Captain Mexico, and I'm
That's
upset.
because people catch me off guard, fucking assholes. Just
I
ask me for the picture. I will take it with you.
Bet.
Do I? No, that's Amber Turd.
you should have gardening tools on your utility belt,
I tried that, but that cost
Oh
money.
my god. Or the never mind.
like
Wasn't it
plastic,
construction
fake plastic
stuff.
ones, like a hammer.
Yes.
No, but what if I get a job offer on the spot?
Oh shit! Hey,
Think.
employment's employment, sir.
Yeah, for real.
Yep.
In this economy,
Right
So,
now, I'm gonna cross my fingers that I don't lose my job.
for real,
Me too. Me
every
too.
time I clock in, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna fuck up today and get fired.
Every time my boss calls me, I'm like, oh, I'm getting fired today.
this is the day.
No, for real.
I
Like,
have a reclassification on Wednesday. They're trying to make it so that my job, what I actually do, sounds more like what my job title says. And I'm just gonna go in and be like, I don't know if I'm gonna be qualified enough for what you want.
Right.
okay, there's a
Might
lot
as well
of
just let me
pictures.
go.
There's a lot of pictures on my Instagram at the very bottom that I did not take or post.
You were drunk. There was one time you started streaming one time at a bar, completely shit faced. It was pretty funny. It's got nothing to do with cosplay or mental health.
No, but that was done on purpose. I will do that occasionally. I'm drunk. Welcome to the Geeks Favorite Podcast. Today we're going to talk about booty. How it's the most important thing.
He was at a club with like he's completely drunk and he's like, "We'll be on my podcast." He pulls up his phone. He's streaming from his phone, like trying to interview this girl. Completely drunk. He's like, "Is Geeks Five ever?" It was hilarious. We're trying to message him like, "Get off the stream."
Get off the stream.
I logged on and had to cancel the stream from my computer.
What the fuck was that?
Well, you don't remember it because
I don't.
It's our lovely little story we have about you.
Oh god.
To bounce off of what you said earlier, though, Jace, like the social anxiety aspect of it, I feel like when you go to it, like at home in our bedrooms, whatever our offices, our cosplay space, if we put on a costume, we're like, I feel silly. But then when you go to a convention and you see like 4,000 other people doing it, you're like, yeah, I can do that too.
Yeah.
We're all equally weirdos here.
It helps with that like social anxiety and that loneliness that you might feel, or like that just depression. Because those like 3 days or 2 days that you're at the con, it doesn't matter. Nobody knows you.
Right.
Unless you're like 10,000 followers famous, and then they're like, oh.
So that's the crazy thing, though. That's the problem. That's the crazy thing about the Mexico cosplay. I went to AllCon, the same con that I met the Alfred, and I went out there in an inflatable T-Rex costume. Nice. I was just in the water, and nobody fucking paid attention to me whatsoever. Nobody gave a shit, which is fine. I was sweating my ass off.
Right.
I was like, okay, time to take this monstrosity off. And then I put on Mexico, and I got surrounded by like 20 people.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's what happens. Feels so good.
And then one of them was one of the cosplay guests.
Pee.
One of them was the cosplay guest. The cosplay guest comes up to me. He's like, "Dude, I remember you from the last con. You're like my inspiration to be an alcoholic."
He is not
no!
Captain Mexico is not a good role model.
No, like stop, get help. I do want to acknowledge this one. The Captain Mexico King Mexico is not meant to be a racist cosplay. It's more meant to be a representation cosplay because there actually are no, except for like maybe Blue Beetle and America Chavez, we actually don't really have any like actual representation.
Mm-hmm.
And when people like, I've noticed, and this has never affected me because I've never given a shit about it, but one of the things that affect a lot of people with mental health is that when they cosplay and they cosplay a character that seems to be out of the realm of their race, they get shit for it.
Yep. Cosplay's for everybody.
Race or body type and situations too.
Every person.
Yes.
As like a person who's plus size, I get that shit all the time. That I will say my first couple of cosplay experiences were at con, like MegaCon, which is a huge convention in Florida. And I cosplayed a character from League of Legends, and unfortunately this character had like a bikini type outfit. And I got the worst stares, the worst bullying I can remember on that specific cosplay. And it was all like, cover up. You shouldn't be wearing that. What are you doing? There are children here. And I specifically remember a Peach cosplayer and a Daisy cosplayer just mean mugging me and straight up telling me that I shouldn't be wearing that in public, things like that. And that for a long time hurt me in a way where I didn't cosplay for a couple of years, and I didn't want to go to conventions and things like that. And then one day my friend was like, why don't you do Peach? You haven't done any. And I was like, I can't. Because every time I think about Peach, it reminds me of this person.
Right.
And then she was like, well, why don't we do it together? And her like lending that hand to me was like, you know what? I think we can. And now it is my favorite cosplay that I've ever done. And I was missing out on something because someone bullied me for it 10 years ago.
So Mr. Legit, we're gonna call you Legit.
All right, that's fine. That's fine with me. Yeah, I get caught in a
uh,
bit
Sorry, yeah,
too.
I've been
So
talking a
no,
lot.
it's
no,
okay.
no, no,
No,
no. Because I
like this is
actually because you brought
perfect.
up
But
a good
yes,
point. Because you
you
brought up
did.
a great point. You actually brought up a good question, and we're gonna get his input as well.
Yeah.
Bet.
Yeah, going on, just tailing in on that. Have you ever experienced anything in that realm? That
Well, I will just speak what you asked Catnip earlier. It's like my like I get like mental health and cosplaying and all that. So for me, it was like I've been to cons before here and there. So I try to stay local in San Antonio, because I like to support small business and all that. Like I'm a real advocate for small business, independent business. I don't care, I'll pay a sticker fee or whatever. Um, so 2019 is when I got started to cosplaying. So I've done like other characters, like cartoon and gaming. So I've done Mario and Luigi and Dr. Mario, Dr. Luigi, Luigi's Mansion Luigi. So I've done all of that stuff and Wario, of course. And then this like last year, whatever, I was like, you know what? I want to like elevate my cosplay and actually do like Power Rangers and stuff like that and Super Sentai. So that's what I'm working on right now for my cosplaying. And then the way that I guess it comes with mental health is because when I was getting into that journey, for cosplaying, it's just for guys because I feel like there's a physical intimidation. Like I like to go work out and stuff, but when you see other cosplayers that are like really ripped and like veins popping out and have a good physique, I'm like, dang, like that's how I was before. I was like, man, I don't know if I want to go to the gym because of that. Like that's kind of scary, whatever. That was me years ago. But then it's like, you know what? Like everybody that goes to the gym, they're doing it for themselves. And I had to learn that, like, if I want to, like, be more confident about myself, then, I should work out, which I do. I have, like, a somewhat of an active lifestyle. I'm part of a hiking group, and we're focused on mental health. So that's, like, my friend's, like, group. And she has a non-profit business called Circle of Arms. And so they do a lot of stuff like veterans, military people, and whatever. But I do that, and now it's like I work out just to have a better body. It's not where I want to be at, but it's I'm doing something for myself, and just for self advocacy. Like, hey, I'm working out, I'm seeing difference in my muscles, and yes, I have a panza belly, but that doesn't stop me from cosplaying a ranger. It doesn't matter, if you're skinny or a twink or you're fat or whatever. Like because I've seen so many cosplayers as rangers from different body types. I'm like, you know what? Like this person had the guts to do it, and I need to be like that on their level.
Hmm.
So that's where my cosplay journey is at. But then most cosplayers, it's not like a full time job; it's on the side. So like for me, I'm a teacher.
hmm
So I teach high school students, and that already, is a lot of stress, like daily, Monday through Friday. And then it's like when I do my cosplaying, when I go to conventions, or I have a friend tag along with me, or I meet up with friends, whatever, like that's my escape, So if I don't want to think about work, whatever, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna focus on buying this accessory for my cosplay, or I'm gonna buy that ticket right now because I really want to go for all 3 days. So I gotten better to where like whatever event I want to go to, I go for the whole time. Like because when I used to
Hmm.
go to cons, I would go for one day Saturdays only. But then I was like, if I'm gonna be serious about cosplaying, then I'm gonna go for the whole 2 days or 3 days. I don't even care. But when I do go, I do like a different cosplay a day. So it's good. So I feel like mentally like it's stable, I would say that. I guess when I was younger I used to be like the people pleaser, like I wanted, like I had so many friends and whatever like that. But I learned that when you grow up you're not going to have a lot of friends, you'll have acquaintances. But for me it's like I think five or less is good for like best friends or like your close friends and stuff like that. And it's good to have different groups of people for different things. Like I know you make your own stuff, I'm not a maker, like I'm not that creative, but it's like I know like certain people I can reach out to, like, hey, where did you get your suit from, or do you
Hmm.
know who can make this superhero that I want to do? Because I've had those situations before just for little things. And then or even if it's like gamers and stuff. That I'm part of a Discord, so I love playing video games. Like that's another thing I like to do too, and read comic books. And sometimes I get motivation of like, oh, I want to like do that cosplay, or that's like, something I want to keep on my list of what cosplays I want to do in the future. So cosplaying just keeps you going. Like, oh, I can do this, I can do that. So you
Hmm.
like with cosplay, you don't feel like you're kind of stagnant. Like you're always improving either with yourself, your craft, or just your knowledge of what's going on with like the movies and the comics
hmm
and stuff like that. So, and then last thing I want to say, like for like the Hispanic culture too, like I'm just glad that I didn't have that toxicness of like masculinity and all of that. But it's just good to see it where it's at now than it was before. especially with my guy friends too. Like I'm the one that hypes you up. Like I don't care if you're a girl or a guy. Like I'm gonna
One man hype train.
for real. I'm the one man cheerleader. But I mean, because like for guys, it's not easy to express your feelings or to just let it all out, like raging or whatever. But yeah, so I always tell my friends, I'm like, hey, like I don't care like where you're at, what you need to do, okay? And you know, like I'm here for you. Just I'm available. I'm a message or a text away, and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
But I will say this about the Power Ranger cosplay because I really do like your Power Ranger suit. And
Thanks,
as a
thanks.
I guess I am a Power Ranger cosplayer since I did cosplayer since I did Megazord.
Oh, I would say it counts.
Power Rangers.
But
Uh,
you good.
I was gonna say the only time I've ever thrown shade at anybody that's ever cosplayed Power Rangers is when they wear the suits and they don't wear the dancer's belt, or at least
Yes,
boxers.
yes,
See your junk.
yeah.
Please
You see
wear
your
a dance
Megazord
belt.
showing. Bam.
Hey, bro,
Rita didn't tell you to bust out that monster grown.
hey, bro, your hot dog's out.
Yeah, for real.
There are
Yeah,
children.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. They're
I mean,
kids.
it's like even for like I had one of my guy friends as a cosplayer, and so I gave him advice. I was like, hey, like if you need, like dance belts, whatever, like like what like the one I have, I've had it forever. Like when I was in high school, when I was on color guard with the band and stuff, and I went to like I contacted a dance studio to get like a dancer belt, for guys. Or I told my other friends like if you're like cost efficient, then just double up on underwear. Like you just do what you got to do.
Yeah. Especially if you wear the boxer shorts
Yeah,
without the little button. Just double up. Make sure
at least that.
get
I
a
mean,
damn dancer's belt.
yeah. I mean, guys cosplay, when they tuck and stuff differently, but that's what I do. I told my friend, I was like, if you get like the underwear one, or like I would say like the thong looking one, just put like don't wear it in the middle. But I told him if you get that style, then put it on one side. Whatever it comes with, left cheek or right cheek, will be good.
Free ball and Rangers. LOL. Jesus Christ.
That's after the cons, all right?
That's like I said. I've
That's
already
for
seen.
the private parties.
No,
Yes.
hell no. I'm tired. I don't want to see any more people naked. At least
The-
I'm tired of seeing people that I don't want. Like the people I want to see naked, I don't get to see naked, and the people I don't want to see naked,
You see
they're the
them
ones
naked.
I see naked.
Yeah.
And it's not on purpose. It's always by an accident.
Or especially like when I'm like in the locker room, like I go to Golds, like there was like I mean I get it, it's whatever, like I don't care, but it's just whenever you have that awkward moment where you're like turning, like because you're trying to get like your locker or whatever. It was one of those moments where I was
You
like,
make
"Ta-da!"
eye
I
contact
was
with,
like,
yeah.
okay, yeah,
Your
and
eyes
then
need
it
to be immediately
sucks.
up.
Right, and then it sucks though because then it's like I went to a different gym because I was like, it's the same partnership, but it's a different location, and I'm like, why is he here? Like he's not at this other location where I normally go to for convenience, but I'm over here, and I was like, oh my god, I was like, I can't.
It's always a little different though when it's at a con
Yeah,
and
well,
you
I'm
see
glad I
something you're
haven't
not
had that
supposed
experience
to be
yet.
seeing. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it's always at the room parties
Yes.
when
Luckily, I don't
people.
go to those.
They're so much fun.
I
I'm
go to my
not-
room. I go to my
It's
room. and
super.
get
Yeah, I go in my room.
I paid for that room. I'm not
You
even-
just
Yeah.
gotta. Well, you know what? There's no shame in that. You don't have to go to the room parties. We do definitely throw our own room parties, and we have like in our room parties. There's no shame. Like if you don't want to drink, don't
Right.
drink. Don't worry about it. If somebody's inappropriately touching you, tell us, and we'll have a
that's
community. We'll
whoa
have a
different.
community ask.
Right.
Very
I-
different.
Yeah, and we actually ID people in our parties.
Good.
Yeah, that's good.
So I'm not about to go to jail just because some 9-year-old decided they wanted to get chocolate
No,
wasted.
yeah.
Bruh.
See chocolate wasted.
Yes, because it was from grown-ups. Remember?
I want to get chocolate wasted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tend to be the like designated cosplay friend when all my friends decide. I don't like the taste of alcohol just in
You're the
general.
mom of the group.
I'm
And that's
like
okay.
I'm the one
That's
that's
okay.
like, would you like a water or a granola bar? And while they're like they're sloppy in the corner.
I'm such
Oh
a
my god.
You're making me sound like a horrible person.
No.
They're like, drink a water, hydrate, Jesse. You're sweating.
Fuck
What's
yeah.
that?
Are
Drink
you
another
saying
light
you're
beer?
all it is tequila?
It's-
My
that?
friend's trick to that is she will get a big
Bruh.
bottle of Pedialyte and mix it with like all of her alcohols. So she's
What?
like,
That's actually kind of bad.
right,
That's
right.
worse.
Alcohol prevents you from absorbing that, so it really just makes you pee a lot more, and you get
Yeah.
a major
That's
hangover the
her.
next day.
I have no idea if it works,
Plus,
but like,
you gotta
that's
drink
her
Pedialyte
solution.
after.
Yeah, you gotta drink Pedialyte after. Like just like for,
I'm Gatorade. Like if I have like a
Yeah.
headache, I drink Gatorade.
Pedialyte's
I
I
mean,
like
love Gatorade.
I
Gatorade
know.
on steroids.
I know.
It's
so
way better
like
for it.
also for those of you out there that go to the room parties and go to the parties in general. Okay, before we do that, I want to introduce him because he's eating. Uzi.
This jerk here. I see he's busy. Let's take a
It's
picture.
a swiper, no swipey.
Let me see if I can make everybody bigger. There we go.
Hi, Uzi.
We can't hear
You know
you.
what? We look like the Five Rangers now.
Sorry about
Hey.
that. I was going everywhere. I forgot. I mean,
All right, this is an occasional.
Accomplice.
Yeah, he shows up every now and then when he's bored.
He's a ghost.
Hungry.
He floats in.
Floats in
Right.
and out. He's
Ayo, I'm here.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm trying to be more social now, so I'm trying to.
yeah,
Oh.
and Uzi's one of those individuals that suffers
Invited
from
us for
depression
dinner.
and anxiety.
You just go air me out like that, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that is the topic for today, right?
At least
Anything
I'm
else?
not calling you El Chapo again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Options. That's later.
But yeah, no, yeah. I mean, so mental health, right? I do suffer from a bit of anxiety. It's mostly social anxiety, which is why I'm so socially awkward most of the time, and I'm so antisocial or whatever. But I mean, most of my anxieties just come like mostly inward. Like most of my depressions are just from like external most of the time. You know, like I do have a bit of an internal depression, or that's how I like to classify them, right? You know, the external depression is like outside stuff that just kind of happens, back and forth, and then there's your internal depression, which is stuff you can't really control. You know, your mind is just letting you, hey, you're shit. You're nothing, and all
Guess
that.
what? You're sad today.
It's kind of like, and I use a lot of references. It's kind of like in the Boondocks with the episode of Uncle Ruckus when his dad barges in the house. He's like, "Did I just catch you trying to be shit?" That's depression. That is depression.
I had to
Did I
think
just
about
I
that
don't know
for a
why.
minute.
I don't know
was
why
like,
you're leaning over. We can still plainly see you eating.
Oh,
Yeah.
what you eating for dinner? That's the most important question.
it's just
chicken.
a snack.
Oh, what kind of snack?
It's chicken.
I legit
Okay.
just got a text.
So
that was
it's
like,
technically a
Taco Bell?
popsicle. In Mexico, we call them bolis. It's
Oh.
basically just it's a flavored plastic.
It's a frozen treat.
It's a frozen treat, that's been wrapped in a bag.
Yeah.
Like,
What was? Can you repeat that again, Miss Catnip?
Oh, I just got a text that was like Taco Bell on me, and I was like, yes.
Yes.
If you
free
gotta
food
go,
in
I
I
gotta
think
pay for
you-
my taco. No.
Yeah,
Priorities.
that's a legal excuse. You can get out of here anytime.
Yeah.
I mean, the Mexican pizza did come back, so.
Ugh.
It's overrated. It left for a reason.
As a Mexican, I disapprove of the Mexican.
As
as
Okay,
an
but-
actual
Italian,
Mexican,
It's
I don't
delicious.
eat Taco Bell.
Oh,
it's,
okay.
it's two tostadas on top of each other.
Yeah, you.
With
I
diced
personally
tomato.
miss the shredded chicken burrito, which was. Oh,
You know
They brought
what?
back the
Make
spicy potato
make Taco Bell
taco.
great again. You want to help with my depression and my anxiety. Make Taco Bell great again. Why is it that when I order a bean and cheese burrito, it's mostly beans and like 2 shreds of the cheese, just 2 little strings
why
of
you don't
cheese?
order
Oh
that?
my god.
You order good
No, that's anything with cheese on it. Like, oh, you want cheese?
No,
Salt Bay.
I think,
cheese bay.
Yeah.
I think my partner is still streaming, so I think we're gonna get that later. So
Okay.
Making plans for later.
And then when you ask them for extra cheese, they're already charging you extra, but they always look like it comes out of their check when you ask for it. Like
oh wait, I missed that.
whenever you order like the extra cheese at Taco Bell, whenever like,
Right.
hey, can I get extra cheese in my burrito or whatever, they always look at you like it comes out of their paycheck,
Oh,
but they charge you for it.
they do.
That's stupid, bro.
They give you an
Hey,
indistinguishable
and for you
amount,
Texas
so it doesn't
people,
matter.
Whataburger be doing that same look when you ask for extra ketchup.
I have a very controversial take on Whataburger.
Let's hear it.
No.
We'll
What is
drop
So
it
we
from this call.
we got the first one here in Nashville,
Oh.
and I went to it recently. We had to wait like a month and a half for the line to die down because people were so hyped about it.
Yeah.
One, the burger is huge. Not complaining
Texas.
about the size or anything, but like, I eat like a bird, so I can only take like 3 bites and then
Right.
not eat the rest.
That is not
It's-
what I imagined
It's all right. It's
when you said I eat like a bird.
oh not not like
You,
I'm not
you
like
throw up
baby
your
bird.
food in someone
No.
else's
Bruh,
mouth.
I love
I pick at
Whataburger.
meals, but it's
love
it's
it.
all right. It's not that great. I mean,
Like
I
you
like
gotta come to Texas for Whataburger. It's
That's
gonna
what
hit
I've heard.
different. Yes.
Yeah, you got to come to
What did
Texas.
you get?
So
I
Hold
got
on, what did you get? We gotta figure
they're
that out.
like the basic double burger.
A number
Um,
2.
I
that's
guess,
already
yeah.
That's pretty
kinda-
good.
That's pretty good. We should have gone for the triple meat.
I can't eat
That's
that
too
much.
That's way too much.
can't eat that much.
I
You
eat
know what's
like a fucking
crazy?
pig.
What's crazy is that's not even the biggest burger in Texas. Like,
That's true.
No, I'm not
That's true.
surprised. Everything's bigger in Texas, you know.
Yep.
That's
We have
that's
bigger
one of the bigger
portions,
commercially
yes.
sized ones.
yeah,
Bigger
that's the biggest
portions.
fast food.
I can't eat that much anyways, but like my partner is just like obsessed, and he's like, "What a burger?" And I'm like,
You should try their like specialty ones, like the barbecue ones. Those.
I
are
like
generally
their
better.
barbecue
Yes.
chicken burger.
They're
That
pretty
was
good.
really good. And then their chocolate shake is really, really good. I don't know why
Yes.
it's like a frosty but different.
Right.
It's giant and thick as hell.
I
Mhm.
liked it. But we have cookout here. And
We have no
cookout
idea what that is.
Cookout is like if you went to a backyard barbecue, like somebody's mom and pop backyard barbecue, but it's
Mhm.
like a franchise here in the South, and I would take Cookout at any day over.
Does it do
Whataburger.
barbecue? Is it like a barbecue place?
It's a burger plate, like a burgers, hot dogs, chicken tenders. So like you can get a
okay.
big double tray, which is a big burger with corn dogs and a quesadilla as your side, and it's only
Holy
$5. Yeah.
Goku, I'm gonna need to move to Tennessee. just for
I mean, they have them in North
financial
Carolina and like
reasons.
North Georgia, so you have options. But
Um,
I'm not allowed in Georgia anymore.
I don't know, man. I used to work for Humana,
I can't remember.
Medicare insurance, and when I spoke to
Mhm.
somebody from up north,
mhm.
and I explained to them, "Oh, I'm from Texas." "Oh, really? You're from Texas? You don't have that yeehaw accent."
Then I
I
punched.
was like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Like
well, I'm Mexican."
I do say y'all now, so
yes, y'all.
And-
I say y'all all the time, but
I
then,
do
like,
now,
It,
yeah.
it wasn't towards me, but it was like just for the whole like Texas.
It's a convenient
Yeah,
word.
like it's
There
so
were-
it's so
Right.
easy. Once you practice it more, it just flows. Like y'all need help.
y'all, yeah.
Y'all need Jesus.
I didn't say that
Y'all need to
2
stop
years
tripping.
ago.
But one of the accusations or whatever, like I guess someone had thought like we ride horses to work.
With
Man,
these
we
gas
don't-
prices,
I'm like, we
yeah.
have cars, bro. I was like,
I
who
can't
are
afford a
you?
horse.
Shots fired.
Horse. You have to eat. You have to feed the horses. Take
Right.
care.
Right.
After them.
They don't eat just grass.
I know. Like, I can barely feed myself, much less
Right.
Right.
And you want to have a horse? I'm like, bro, you
800-pound.
You think
Where would I
$80
put
bucks a
that in my
week for
apartment?
$80 a week for your car's fuel isn't much compared to a horse.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I recently had COVID, long short story. And I've been locked
I
in the
got you.
house for like 2 weeks. And I walked outside when I was feeling better, and we went to go, I don't know, gas station, and I looked at the gas prices, and they jumped so far in the time that I was like locked down. I was like,
Yeah.
what is this?
What
Like,
year is it?
utopia.
Yeah, like for Texas, we're already past the $4 mark, like per gallon.
Yeah, we're at 4.30 at our closest gas station.
That's about where we're at.
Sheesh.
So,
Oh, you guys
question.
are talking about like regular. Okay.
Sorry, off topic. Yeah, wait.
No. You're
You
fine.
brought up
That's-
Whataburger. It's your fault.
Okay,
I'm
so
sorry.
at one point we had to start giving the shows random titles because we'd start off like, today
ADHD brain, you know.
today we're going to talk about like why cosplayers need to bathe, and by the end of the episode we're talking about like, look, bruh, Popeyes has the best fried chicken. Don't start with me.
I love
First of all,
Popeyes.
you're
so
wrong.
good.
I'm sorry,
Sweet.
Bojangles?
Bojangles does
That-
not always have the best chicken. See, when
It's
it
not
comes
always,
to
so
fried
it does
chicken,
sometimes.
you gotta go to the hood, bro. You gotta find that one
That's
place
true.
that
Yeah.
don't give a shit about your
Yes.
arteries.
Yeah,
Yep.
I will agree with that. There's this place called Brother Zay's Wang Shack, and it's literally just a hut in
That sounds good.
In Nashville, oh my god, it's the best wings I've ever had.
There's a place here in Houston called Timmy Chang's. It's soul food and chicken.
Ooh,
It's Chinese and soul food, and it's
Right.
that
fucking
sounds
delicious.
good.
That sounds good.
I'm telling you, bro. You
I
gotta
do
go
like
to fucking Dustin's, dog.
Uzi, let's go get some food, bro. I'm hungry.
I'm gonna go Taco Bell after this.
Just
I'm
ate.
broke. I don't got a car, so
Yeah. I got a car. I'll come get you. You paying,
Oh.
right?
I got work in the morning, so
23 cents.
Same. I got work in the morning.
So we're talking about. You think food is like one of those? It's like definitely one of those comfort things. Like, let's say you go to the
Yes.
con, because we go to the cons, and I'm not going to ask like direct questions anymore because I kind of feel weird asking direct questions. But, you go to the con, and it's like, man, I feel good, I look good, everybody likes it, and then you get that one asshole cosplayer that's like, whatever, says something to you, he's rude, or accidentally like breaks a part of your cosplay or whatever. They do something that like fucks with your mood. And like, do you feel like food is definitely one of those things? Like, man, fuck you, and
Yes.
then you're eating like a biscuit from Popeyes.
Yeah.
Food
For-
used to be a comfort.
Mine is still a comfort. Like, I'm a foodie. Like, but what I do for myself, like for a tradition, is like after I go to a convention, like a con, whatever. I like to go to Whataburger in my cosplay outfits.
That's
I like
fun.
that. I like that experience because then, like when I did my
Denny's.
Blue Ranger, cosplay, because the helmet, it's not like the class where you can hook it. It's like it has pins, so I don't wear it as much with the helmet, but whatever. So I held it and I was ordering whatever, and then I like seeing the reaction from like the back people that are working. They're like, "Oh, dude, that's so cool! You're a Power Ranger!
Shit, we
Wow!"
got Blue Ranger here.
Yeah, they were like Blue's my favorite. And I said, as it should. Just saying. But it was funny. But I love doing that. Or like the person that walks around with the condiments, whatever. I'm like, hey, can you take a picture of me? And I have like the little like Whataburger sign marker thingy, and then like my helmet and my
Oh,
my
that's really
food.
cute though.
I love it. I love it.
I feel I'm one of those people when it comes to cosplay or art. I have troubles finishing the cosplay
Yep.
because
Welcome to
it'll drain
cosplay.
me. It'll drain my mental health.
Little
go
bit
in
at a
there.
time.
Eager, ready to go, ready to get this shit done. Halfway through it, I'm like, why the fuck am I here?
Little bit of executive dysfunction, maybe.
Well,
And that's okay. No, I don't mean that in
Work
an
on a
offensive
plan.
way.
Plan.
I don't know if you guys use this app. It's
Oh,
called Cost Planner.
No.
No.
I've heard of
Um,
that.
I used to.
It's like a checklist that'll help you maintain progress, and it gives you a percentage every time you complete a certain thing. When I first started doing like handmade cosplays, I would write down like everything. Oh, I need to sew on this emblem to the shirt, or I need to
Right.
alter these pants, whatever. That would help keep me going, especially when I wasn't feeling motivated.
One of my favorite cosplays involves Whataburger, Emperor Palpatine
Yep.
walking in around with the order number 66 and a tray of their food.
Yes,
I would like a number 2 with cheese.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Grilled jalapenos.
Make the meat dark.
Sir, it only comes one way.
Oh, that actually hurts.
Oh my god.
Super size the fries.
The Whataburger.
This is a
side.
Whataburger.
We do have this guy kind of asked me to be on here, so I do apologize. He was not scheduled, but he's actually a professional wrestler who also deals with anxiety and mental health. I don't know if he actually deals with anxiety, but he also deals with mental health as well. I don't know what kind because I haven't asked, but please welcome Your
Greetings,
Highness.
Hi, Your Highness.
We can't hear you, bro. Check your settings. Can't hear you.
Scream really loudly into the anus.
Oh, the anus. Anus.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
There you go.
Anus.
hear my
good
anus?
mic check.
Awesome.
Yep.
It's a loud
I think it
anus.
only works when he screams into the phone.
Yeah.
Or there's a delay.
My anus has a delay.
What?
Yes.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
there's
a
a,
bit of a
Sadly,
yeah,
delay.
there's a
sadly.
delay because you look like one of those old dubbed movies where they're like their lips are like flapping, but the words haven't come out yet, or they stopped talking, but there's still words.
Like an old anime. An old anime dub.
Oh, the poorly dubbed animes, yeah.
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
We're just paid enough to match those flaps.
Like an old Speed Racer anime.
I don't know if I like flaps.
No, but you never seen like the
They're,
old kung
they're
fu
called mouth
movies.
flaps.
You never seen the old kung fu movies where they're like, "You have dishonored
Yeah.
He
No,
just
but
doesn't
I
like
just
the word
I don't
flaps.
like the word flaps.
flaps."
It's not the best.
Or like
word.
an old movie. You are no match for my novel kung fu power.
I just recently watched a trailer for Kung Pao Enter the Fist, and after I watched it, I was like, "Oh, this is very dated and it just doesn't match like today's humor." And it
It's
was
still a good movie. I
a
don't know.
little racist.
Wait, wasn't Kung Pao like intentional though?
It
It
was
took an
made-
old movie, they dubbed over it again, and they inserted a new main character.
Similar to Power Rangers, where they took all the Zentai.
Yep.
Ah,
It's a
okay.
clip. It's a clip
scenes.
show. It's a clip show.
Because
Yeah,
like
it
I
was-
do know that like some some of those older ones, yeah, they did do that, but I thought for like Kung Pao it was intentional.
Yeah, no, with Kung Pao, it was intentional. They used stock footage and they just filmed a different main character and they kind of changed the story a little. It made no sense, but that was the whole point of it.
Yeah,
You know, he's literally
Okay.
fighting a cow with something called beaver chucks.
yeah.
Oh, speaking of old fucking did you guys hear that freaking what's it called? It was that one movie with the dude that did martial arts and he got
Kung Fu
his
Hustle?
face pulverized. Yes.
Yep.
Supposedly they're making a sequel or some shit.
I heard
Wait,
that as
for,
well.
for what movie? I didn't hear it. What movie?
Kung Fu
Kung Fu
Hustle.
Hustle.
Oh, okay.
I saw that like middle school, man.
Yeah,
That's a
I
good movie.
fucking love that movie.
That movie's dated as
So you
well.
don't fuck with the
That one
NPCs in a
and
video game.
Shaolin Soccer.
But okay, so Jace, what about you,
Right.
man? Let's talk about. Let's ask you some of these questions.
Dude, I cosplayed a Speedo. I'm constantly worried about how I look. It's
That's
Bruh,
it.
I don't get that. Like, I can't even like.
Elaborate.
I
Well,
started working out and going
I
to the gym, and I
work
still wear a
out.
shirt when I go into a pool.
I work out, and I made myself to a point because I cosplayed before, and then as I was transitioning to more of the bigger cosplayers like Nappa and Armstrong, I wanted to build myself to look the part. So I went to the gym a lot and everything. But every second that I was out on the panel floor and everything in a Speedo or shirtless, so like I just think to myself, I look terrible. I look so fucking stupid right now. And just constantly just sweating out of anxiety. Go all the way through the day, get out of the thing, scroll through some pictures, like, oh, actually look pretty good. I just made myself horribly stressed the entire day for no fucking reason.
I think that's with every
It's-
cosplayer. That's where anxiety kicks in.
That's
where-
why anxiety is a
like
problem
that.
for every cosplayer. Is that
Yeah.
you, especially when you put hours and hours making, if you made like the Megazord cosplay you did, or sewing an entire dress for Princess Peach, you don't want that. You could everyone has 1,000 compliments, but the one person makes one comment about it's like that one comment's going to stick with you the entire time.
Absolutely.
You're wondering if you did good enough because you're going to notice the faults. You know all the issues you had when making it
Right.
in the part on that cosplay that doesn't look right, and you're
Yeah.
hoping that no one else sees that. And when they give you the compliment of "you look amazing," in your head you're like, "Yeah, but
But you
there's that one
also
spot."
not just that. You also have the bully cosplayers. Who
Yeah.
Yeah.
feel like
Absolutely.
they own the character.
Yeah.
That will
Mhm.
shame you.
I can't believe you cosplayed the
Mhm.
character. Like, well,
That's my character. Yeah.
it's a
Your-
shame. You're
Your
obviously a
cosplay
trademark.
sucks. You bought yours. I made mine.
I cosplayed a popular Yu-Gi-Oh character, Jack Atlas, when there was already
Wow.
a super popular cosplayer who goes to the same conventions we did that I was a huge fan of. That already did the character way better than I ever could, but I really like the character. And it's like, oh, this guy did it way better. It's like, cool.
That's cool.
Want me to
That's
message him
cool.
on?
Right.
Want me to
That's-
message him right now because I am friends with him and I can let him know that you're being an asshole. It's like, oh, you're just not. You shouldn't be cosplaying because you're way better. It's like, okay, asshole.
Yeah.
First,
Right? Yeah. Like.
I'm sorry. Where's your LLC?
For
Where's
real.
your trademark?
Where's your copyright?
Yeah, copyright symbol, the C circle.
Yeah. No. Excuse me, sir. Can we just pause that thought for a brief moment? I'll be right back. Where are you going? I'm gonna go look for the individual you talking to like that. I'll be right back.
Like, imagine it's like one first person
Yeah.
cosplays Princess Peach. No one else is allowed to cosplay
Nobody's allowed.
ever
Yep.
again. There's only one cosplayer allowed to cosplay as the Blue Ranger.
Nah, bro, you should check the chart. You gotta check the
I-
chart.
Oh
dog.
shit!
And that's definitely something I want to
I mean,
talk about. But
I cosplay characters that generally aren't cosplayed that much. Nappa, Armstrong. I background characters in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Like no one fucking knows who these characters are. I
Right.
cosplay the lesser known ones because I learned my favorite characters, and no one ever
Mhm.
cosplays.
Exactly.
Like the Napa one though, like that one con we went to together, there was like 5 Napas.
And they
Oh,
were said like, "Oh, yours is like way better."
Like
It's
there
like,
was
yeah, but they
never
all worked
any
hard too.
Napa cosplayers, and now all of a sudden there's like an army of y'all.
I
Yeah.
blame Team 4-Star for that.
That actually, yeah, that had a lot to do with it.
Vegeta.
I'm friends with a lot of the Napa cosplayers because like we all kind of hang out. It's like, oh, cool. We've never seen Napa cosplay before, so we're like giving
I,
ideas to each other. Like, oh, how'd you do
I,
this part? Oh, that's cool.
I actually wanted to
Right.
ask y'all about this.
Helping out the other cosplayer. What a
What
novel
do y'all think
idea.
about this statement? And you get more attention if you cosplay an obscure character. You believe
yeah.
that's
I believe it. I mean, because when I did my Professor Utonium, cosplay, I got like a good amount of attention because yeah, it was casual, it was comfy, but it was just very different because not everybody does him, and he is a popular character, a cartoon, but like you don't see that every time you go to a convention. But
Oh,
again,
okay.
yeah, like that one. Or the other one I did for Ness, it's like, yeah, like, some people will do like the normal outfit Ness, but I did a different variation of Ness. Like if you play Super Smash Bros. And like you can choose the color scheme of your character that you want to do. Well, I wanted to do the black and yellow one. So I didn't know he was known as Bumblebee Ness. And I was like, I'm going to take that name and that's cool. I didn't know. I said, I'm
You
just
do
a
look like a
different Ness.
bumblebee.
Thanks.
I think with
It
the
is-
characters that are more obscure, the interactions are more genuine because when somebody
Yes,
recognizes
yep.
your character, they're like, "Oh my god, you're so and so from that one manga, that one page panel that happened," and you're
Right,
like,
right.
"Yeah," and it feels more like they genuinely care about that character than if you were cosplaying, let's say, Princess Peach, because she's just so there's 20
It's too
Princess Peaches
iconic.
at any
Right.
at any convention you go to. But like if you cosplay that obscure character, you might not get as much attention, but the interactions are way
Yes.
more genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there is
Especially if somebody like recognizes you and they're like, "Yo,
Mhm.
oh,
You can bond.
yes.
Yeah.
El
Like
Chapo.
Weird when you
I've
get
have
those. Who
had
the
those
fuck are
like
you?
interactions with like
Yeah.
people, where I'm like, "Hey, I think I know that character," and I go up to them like, "Hey, are you
Are
such
you-
from such and
yeah.
such?" They're like,
Yes.
"Yeah."
Yes.
Can I get a picture with you, bro, right now? Because I fucking
Exactly.
love this character.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's how I feel with
Yeah.
comic book cosplay.
What about you, Your Highness? What about you? I know we've hung out at the cons, but I don't think I've ever actually seen you in cosplay.
I'll do like a small little cosplay every once in a while. Like I'll try to dress up as like Bardock or whatever. Like I have the compression shirt, and I'll try to get like some black compressions underneath or whatever. And if I'll try and buy some shoulder pads one day, but every once in a while, it's just kind of like, I wish I had more. I wish I had more to add to this, but I try to rock it or whatever.
Right.
And just
right.
even the slight compliments of, yo, you actually tried out. That's pretty cool, or whatever. Or I'll get
And
like a Street Fighter thing or whatever and try to do the best I can, have fun with it.
I'm glad you
Right.
said something, like, because we did briefly touch on it, but like people need to understand, and this is directed towards everybody, and this doesn't mean that you do this, but there are a lot of people out there that can't. There are some cosplayers that are like fucking like perfect, like they nailed it, like they had one job and they got it,
Right.
and there is just some people that can't do that. Like you can't pull that off, and it's just like for me with my Megazord, as much as everybody loved it, I didn't like it as much as everyone else did. And even then, there were a couple people that acknowledged, like, "Oh, you got this wrong, you got this wrong," and that really hurts. Like, that really, because this shit is not easy. Like
It's
when
not.
No.
and this the community, I don't know how it is in other states, but in Texas, at one point, the community was really toxic.
Yep.
Like I would ask for help on how to make art. Like this was years and years ago. But I was trying to make a Digimon cosplay, and I asked
Mm.
for help, and like nobody, like almost nobody helped me. Like nobody gave me any advice, and this is like
There was a
YouTube
lot
didn't
of
have.
gatekeeping. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow,
and
wow,
YouTube
West.
wasn't like YouTube didn't have all the how-to videos yet,
Yep.
So just a while
and
back.
so
Mm-hmm.
this
That's
is
unfortunate, but So I recently judged a cosplay contest in Sevierville, Tennessee, which is where New Dollywood. And there are a lot of costumers out there. And the first thing that these cosplayers, I judged maybe 50 people throughout the day.
Wow.
The first thing that they want to do when they come into the room for prejudging is tell you all the things that are wrong with the costume. Now, we had to
Creator's
stop
remorse.
people. They were like, well, I really had struggles with like sewing this piece, and if you look right here, there's actually like I missed a stitch, and it's like, hey, yo, if you didn't tell me that, I wouldn't have seen it. All I'm seeing is an amazing cosplay in front of me that you made. Don't tell me the things that are wrong with it. Tell me the things that are right with it. And they were like,
Right.
aren't you judging me? And we're like, yeah, but we're not gonna notice the
Right.
small
I
this
think
one missed loop stitch.
If we see
I
it,
know
we see it. You don't have
exactly.
to
I
tell
know
us.
exactly where you're coming from with that because I
Yeah.
think it's because there's, like 12 years ago, they were. I don't know if they're still strict. I stopped. I stopped doing cosplay competitions. I will never ever do another cosplay
I'm trying
competition
to
ever
get back
again.
into it.
Unfortunately, we run panels now, and we just don't have the. They interfere with each other,
Yeah.
Right. Right.
and we pride ourselves in our panels. I would rather do panels than the cosplay competition. The last cosplay competition we were a part of, I had to drop out because some asshole roofied a drink and tried to hand it to a girl, and I was drunk, so I snatched it. I was like, "Thanks, bro," and I
So you
drank
got
it.
roofied?
Yeah,
He
and
roofied
I woke
himself.
up dying, dehydrated. Like
Mm-hmm.
my friend's like, "Are you sure you're just not hungover?" Like, no, bitch. I've been roofied before. I know what this feels like.
And his butt hurt.
Wow.
No, my
But he
butt.
saved a life. He saved that
He
girl.
did.
Though.
He
I
took
was
the
like,
proverbial bullet.
I didn't get a
Yes,
thank you. I was like, why the hell did I take this damn bullet?
got like a high five from Casper.
Nothing. Not even like a eye contact. The dude was
Wow.
pissed. I snatched the drink, and she didn't know, so she was pissed that I snatched the drink,
Yeah,
and I
but
had no proof.
in hindsight, you might have prevented something incredibly bad from happening just by
Right.
being around.
So I had to
Right.
tell the judges, like, hey man, we're out. I feel like dying. I'm just gonna go host my panels and call it a day. But I've won awards, but to me, I guess, and this is just me, but the awards don't really mean. They stop meaning anything to me after a while because I
Mhm.
realize because I've been a cosplay judge before, and I hated it because I was like, I don't know how it was when you were the judge, but when I did the judging, there was like that one individual that was kind of like the leader of the judges,
Yes.
and she was throwing her weight around. Uh,
That's not always the experience, I will say. That shouldn't be, at least.
and
Right.
we got into an argument where she was like, "Okay, these are the ones that I think they should get these awards." I'm like, "Well, I'm not giving my judge's award to that person.
And
I'm
that's
gonna give
you're
it
right as
to."
the judge. Yeah.
Right.
I was like, "I'm gonna give it to Han Solo and Leia," because I thought they were really cool. Because as a judge, I was the only one that was walking up to people. Okay, introduce your character to me in character.
Right. That's
Oh, I
Go.
would lose.
They're like, "Huh?" Next, and Han pulled it off. He's like,
Psycho.
Han looked at me like with the like, no, perfect.
He's being an asshole. Ah,
Yeah, he's
brilliant.
being an ass, and they were really good. But she was like, "You can't give them the award. They bought their cosplay. I don't give a shit. This ain't the craftsmanship award. This is the judge's
Right.
award."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a big
Yeah.
ordeal, big ordeal, and it was so much fighting that I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it to the priest guy because there was this priest dude. He had like he was from some anime. I forgot what it's called, but it was so good because he actually had like a wooden stick that he carved into like this cross thing, and it was so well done that I'm like, dude, that was really cool. And so like I never got invited to be a judge again because I really did not like lit. I wasn't trying to be confrontational. I was willing to work and like, but I
Right.
was arguing like, hey, because they wanted to give the best in show to some cosplayer, and I wanted to give the best in show to it was one of her friends, and I recommended my friend. I'm like, look, I've seen all the cosplays. I'm not trying to play favorite, but our friend is the only one with an actual operating Gatling gun that weighs more than 100 pounds. Like it wasn't a real Gatling gun, but he made it to look like one. And it had a
Right.
battery and it would turn and everything.
Right.
It was actually completely mechanical, and he had metal armor that he welded.
That's an
Right.
incredible amount of work. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm
I
like,
think I know
if
who you're talking
anyone
about.
deserves it, he deserves the best in show. But she showed like this and that. I'm like, okay, that's awesome. But sewing and welding metal are not the same thing. Like
Right.
one,
Right.
if you screw up, you are gonna Luke Skywalker your hand.
Yeah.
So like that, and that really messed with me, and that got to me, and I never did it again. And that's my point with this whole thing. Like there are cosplayers out there that are there are entitled cosplayers. I feel like there's less now,
Right.
but
Right.
there's a lot of entitled cosplayers that will like bully people, and unfortunately, like we are one of this is a very sore subject, but this is one of the countries where we do have a very high suicide rate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
Yeah.
for guys
Yeah.
too. But going back to the like panels and stuff, like the cosplaying, whatever, like for judging, like when I was getting more into it, right, like just getting interacting with like the cosplay contests and whatnot, I thought, oh, okay, it's like you can sign up if you want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do as much as like the anime conventions, but some of the events they'll like ask you, hey, like what percentage did you make, right? And
Right.
then that first time I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I understand that, that's cool. Like they say you gotta have at least 75% of your cosplay made, right? So then I went with a friend. Well, I became friends with him like a couple weeks ago that we actually did a cosplay together. Well, like cosplay contest together. So then we met up at another convention, like a little mini one, and I told him, hey, like this one, it's like you gotta make it, a certain percentage of your cosplay has been made, but like you bought everything, so you can't,
Mm-hmm.
participate in it. But yeah, so that was like mind blowing. Now that I didn't know they had specific, requirements. I thought it was like all the same for the
Oh,
cosplay.
it used to be worse here.
Oh, I'm sure.
Uh, it was it was 60% at one point or sixty five
Hmm.
percent, and then they would change. It would fluctuate depending on the con. It would be 70, 75,
Exactly. Yeah.
80, 50%. But a lot of the cons had a very strict rule.
Hmm.
Well, I think with these bigger cons, especially like MomoCon and like uh, Comic Con, things like that, where you're winning a cash prize or maybe
Yeah.
tickets
Hmm.
to another convention, something like that. I think it definitely affects like if
Right.
somebody came in with a store bought costume versus this person who spent 200 hours on this cosplay and
Right.
they give it to the store bought, I would be angry.
You
Yeah.
want to know a secret?
When
I spent 48 hours on this one.
But you made it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you look at
that's
it closely,
pretty
like
good.
it fell apart that weekend.
Right.
I only wore
But
it
you
like
made
twice.
it.
But you made it.
And that's the
But
thing. So my Kanoko cosplay is I'm gonna enter it into a costume contest, I think this weekend.
do we have that picture by the way?
You
That's the
do the
mushroom
mushroom
one.
one.
Yes.
Everything on this
Yes.
costume is handmade. The hat, I made the hat. I painted the shoes. They were altered. The foot little leg
Oh,
warmers. Everything is
Yeah.
handmade. And I don't think this will be the first time I'm entering a costume contest. I've already seen some of
Oh.
the people that are entering, and I already know I'm not going to win. And I kind of don't want to enter, but I need to do it because it's part
Hmm.
of like my this year's bucket list is just enter one
Yeah. Do
contest.
it. Do it.
Just do
But
it to like just to have like it's good to go up
I need
there,
to check that
present
off my
yourself,
box.
and have people like hear about you because they go like,
Right,
oh, we have so and so
Right.
right.
cosplay, and
It's
that's
good
actually how you get fans.
exposure.
Yeah,
Hmm.
But
it's
like
mostly for exposure.
I just did a cosplay contest 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we let people like bring in like store bought costumes. We let anybody enter, but
Right.
me and the three judges decided on three winners. All were made costumes
Right. Right.
because they put so much effort into them,
Yes.
and like they're like it shows when you put love into a cosplay.
Mhm.
Right.
Right,
Like for me,
but
like it was like less than a month ago. Like I like when I go to conventions, I don't stay that long. It's like to stay
Hmm.
for the contest, it's whatever. But I went to this little mini event, and it was called Machi Fest. So it's leading up to YumiCon, which is like an anime convention, which I
Hmm.
love. And so I did it right. So then of course there were like a lot of people. So they went through 5 rounds of like adult cosplayers, and I was part of
Hmm.
that 5 rounds, whatever. But I went as Wario, and I was like, you know what? I don't even care. Like it is what it is. But I'm glad I
Right.
did it because I got free passes. So they gave all the runner
Yeah.
ups free passes to YumiCon. I was like, that's what's up. Two of them. Two of them.
That's so
Oh,
good.
It was cool.
Wario, fuck yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah.
win.
Man, I had someone call me Mario, and I was like, "You uncultured swine." I was like,
Cultured swine.
I'm
Yes,
normally a
I
nice
was-
person, but that is uncalled for.
nope. And I said, "These." I had the gloves here. Like, you see the W, this Mario.
I will
All
admit,
You don't see
right.
this yellow?
Exactly.
I have gotten mad when I was 22 years
God.
old. I was cosplaying Super Saiyan Goku,
Hey.
and this
They
girl that was
called
the
you
same
Naruto.
age walked by and said, "Hey, Naruto," and I stopped her
Yeah.
dead in her tracks. I
Hell
stopped
no.
her, and I'm like, "Would you just call me?" And she's all like,
There are a lot of
"Naruto?"
people who do that now for like the shock factor.
Yeah, they do
Right.
it for shits and giggles, but like, I felt so bad. I even apologized afterwards, but
Well,
I'm like, "Would you just call me?" And then I stopped a complete stranger. Hey, just call me Naruto. He's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
This
So I
was in
had
2000
someone.
This
Kind
was
of
in
a
nerve.
2008, and clearly,
Yeah, 2008
The
was
nerve.
a
The
different
nerve.
year. I was learning how to be more. See, in 2008, I started going to anime conventions
Right.
in 2007. October, Onicon in Houston was my first con, and
Hmm.
around this time, it was like 2008. This is when I was just learning to be more empathetic with everybody, because when you grow up in an area where you hear about somebody getting shot on the daily and
Hmm.
nobody bats an eye at it because it's no big deal. It's probably just some idiot acting like a fool at the club or some shit. Like, and that's normal. That's normal for the
you
hood.
get
Like
cold
everyone's
really fast.
right.
Yeah.
Everyone's an asshole. Like, you weren't allowed to watch anime. People watch Dragon
Oh,
Ball
it
Z, but
was
that was it.
absolutely stigmatized.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a Pokemon fan, they would bully the shit out of you. Oh shit. Uh, but like I still have that. Like, I still have traits of that mindset. I'm
Right.
not like I'm empathetic now. I try to like relate to people, their problems,
Yeah.
their mindset. Like, I try to be more understanding. But like, the ghetto in me will still come out.
Me too. Yep. South side.
Yeah,
Me too. I'm
like
like,
I
don't
was
try me.
like I was trying to. I saw this guy drunkenly going down the stairs, and he looked like he was about to fall on his face. And I went up there to help him, and he pushed me, shoved me off of him. And I was like, "Listen here, you bitch ass motherfucker! I hope you fall down them motherfucking stairs,
Yep.
stupid ass bitch."
Yep. That's how it be
you,
sometimes.
why you be tripping? Why you be tripping? Like,
For real. Why you tripping?
why you tripping,
No.
bruh?
Yeah.
And it was actually what I said was much, much worse, but
Right. Right.
I digress. And so that's where I tried to be more understanding, because I never realized growing up I had mental health issues. I never knew I did. I never knew I had anxiety. I never knew I had depression. I always had like these episodes, and I was always told to just, kind of, you have to power through them because you're a man,
Yep.
and as a man, you don't have the luxury of being sympathetic or being sympathized with.
I mean this in the nicest way. Men are some of the most emotional people I have ever
Yes.
encountered.
That's me.
And
That's
I
me.
don't mean it in a negative way. I mean that men are told to, of course, bottle it up, be a man, don't cry, etc., etc.
Be
But
a man.
We have a lot of comments at the same time. I'm gonna
No,
try
you're
to address
good.
some of them.
Yeah.
But
Because
no,
what?
and
You're
I,
good.
I agree.
it's exactly that. Yeah.
I agree, Miss Cat. I agree with you completely, because the reason why we are more, I believe this isn't true, but I believe we are more emotional because we are told to bottle it
Yep.
up,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
And
it's
then,
like a
yeah,
dam. It can only take so much pressure before it
Yep.
cracks.
Mhm.
absolutely. With that being said, we it's it's a spectrum of
It is.
mental health. Everybody is on it in some sort of way, and I don't mean that as like it's a spectrum like autism, but it is a spectrum. Everybody has some sort of mental health that can be represented. I think we're seeing a lot more of it being like, we're seeing the trauma that was caused by the previous generation more in media now than ever.
Yeah.
And as people who are like, if you have kids or if you plan to have kids, you have to be that barrier between the previous generation almost, and like
Right.
shape the next one, because like we're starting to recognize that all of these things that happened to us, we've all had traumatic pasts due to our parents mostly. Um, and if I don't have children, and
That's what you
it's
get.
not on my radar, but if you have children, like I think it's part of our duty to raise them in a way that's mental health positive.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want kids. Just get yourself a credit card.
No, I got a cat. They're good enough.
It's about the
Aw.
same thing.
Kids are like
Wait.
pets.
You,
Kids
you
are
can
like pets.
talk to your cat.
You gotta kids. You gotta train them, walk them,
Yeah.
clean up
Yeah.
after them,
That's a
feed them.
whole human that I need to be responsible for. I can't even be responsible for
Solo for
myself.
The
myself.
difference between a cat and a human being is the cat when it turns 18 years old won't move out and then move back in, being like I'm broke.
Yeah,
Just
Fucked
like,
up.
I'm done.
it's hard out there.
It is.
I mean, at least but cats and kids are similar. They both talk shit about you behind your back.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for
The
sure.
important thing about being the next messenger for the next generation out there, because when you go to conventions, we're all kind of on the older side. I'm not pointing out ages here, but people did mention 2008 at the beginning of this podcast, so I can only assume. So cosplayers now they're coming in are like 16, 17 years old. I remember when I started cosplaying around that age, like,
Mhm.
man, you have all this opportunity, and let's hope that we're all
And
not
you
being
know
asshole
what, dude?
gatekeepers.
That is a good subject that we
They have
will
the
cover.
building blocks that we created, and they're just literally kicking off with such a good head start.
What
Yeah.
about
Bunch of
you, Your
jerks.
Highness? What about you, man?
I
Same
think
questions.
I think we have the power as this generation to make a lot better. But I've also seen like, especially from that freaking hotel last year, what kind of how emotional like what she was saying how emotional the guys can get, and I'm like not that
Hmm.
much of like a emotionally as they were, but it's one of those see what they're doing wrong, so I don't have to end up like this.
Right.
Learn,
I'm kind of
learn from it.
Hmm.
yeah, I'm kind of the hey, what's up, guys? Oh man, you gotta help me. This girl and so he was supposed to talk to. I'm supposed to. All right, I guess I gotta be this person. I want to make good friends.
I think we need to have Patrick on this. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I think we need to have Patrick on the show one day.
Yeah, yeah, he's a good friend of mine, and so we've done a couple of podcasts before, kind of like this, different topics. So we've done like voting, we've done like Vanessa Guillen and stuff like that from like last year and 2 years ago. So it's pretty good.
So one thing I will say about Geeks Five Ever is that we have two slogans, and we used to have one other, but we stopped using it. It was we originally because people kept asking us, why are you called Geeks Five Ever? And so that's actually from a running joke.
Mm.
All right, you're fine, James. uh,
And
he sent me a message in private. Anyways, so one thing we went with Geeks Forever and Beyond. That was our original slogan, which was kind of stupid. To me, it was kind of stupid. So we changed it to Geeks Five Ever. So we just had Geeks Five Ever for a while, and then we started interviewing like, what can we do to help the community? So we started talking to we've had interviews about drama in the nerd community, the geek community.
Mm.
We've had hygiene,
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Once a year.
stalker, creeper, or the nice guys.
Right.
We've had the people that are a little bit too friendly with individuals that are not of age.
Mhm.
Um, we've had issues about conventions, like Lord Voldemort, who had a stripping panel, like they were stripping in a panel in front of a bunch of 13-year-olds.
What?
And so that's what we have always tried to do. We've had Under Subsidence come on and do interviews. We've had other bands. We've had wrestlers. We've had creators. We had the original voice actor of Michelangelo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, that's
Uh,
cool.
we had what was his name that created Animaniacs?
Tom Ruger.
Oh
Tom
yeah,
Ruger, Frank Tadero, John Bailey.
yeah,
That's cool.
We had
yeah.
a lot
So
of different ones.
we try to do interviews. We try to do cosplay interviews, but we also like to we cover a lot of the same subjects yearly because these are things that are you can't just
Right.
address it once.
No, it
No.
needs to
And
be.
Yes.
Yeah.
right, and we are firm believers that even though we posted on our page thoughts and prayers go out to the victims of the families
Hmm.
in Texas, I am a firm believer that I do not like that shit.
Doesn't
I
help.
we tried to do these things like we talk about mental health and like Like, and I expressed that to you, like, hey, we cover different subjects. If you want to do your own solo episode, we can. But if you want to be on our subject-based episodes, those are on Mondays, and we talk about different subjects. And so, like, because we try to help, because like being growing up in an environment where being a nerd was taboo,
Hmm.
that affected your mental health as well.
Yep.
You were told that you
Yep.
were a freak, you were a nerd, you were a loser. No one liked you. No one, no one wanted to be your friend. Nowadays, look at this shit. If you're not a Marvel fan, then you're a fucking loser. Like,
Yeah.
literally, those are not my words. Literally, I heard that on the radio with a
Yeah.
bunch of
Wow.
middle-aged radio hosts
Yeah.
who don't know the first shit about the comic books.
Right.
Like,
We're
yeah,
almost
man.
hipsters for nerd
Yeah.
communities.
Right. Like, if you don't, hey, if you don't like Marvel nowadays, you're kind of a fucking loser. He didn't say it like that, but he said loser. He did say the word loser.
Right.
And it's like amazing to see how it's changed. But remember at one point when we had like the sexy model gamer girls, and they were constantly posting pictures with the controllers, like licking them or kissing them, and then you had all the fedora hat wearing dudes showing up. Ah, you're not a real nerd, and
We
you're
have to
fake.
prove on the daily
Milady.
that I'm a real nerd. I play these video games, you know. On the
Right.
Or
daily.
had guys say
Then-
words
then-
and
Do you even watch Dragon Ball?
Like, oh, I have depression, I have anxiety. Okay, I'm sorry. If you need help, we will help you. But why are you
Right.
fucking messing with this individual?
Right.
Why are you being part of the problem?
I'm a firm believer, and I have to say this when I told my therapist this, and she was like, "You don't need to justify that. That's an actual that's a good statement. Because you have a condition does not justify your actions.
Yep.
Because you have A, B, C, or D does not mean you can do A, B, C, or D.
Right.
Blaming your ADHD on the sexual assault that happened is not a real thing. Don't
Right.
do that to people."
Yeah.
This might sound a little controversial, but I'm a firm believer of ass whoopings.
Yes. Yes.
There are just some individuals out there. Like I'm not talking out of my ass on this one. Like, there are some people that have gotten their ass kicked and were brought down back to earth, where they realize,
It
oh
humbles
shit,
you.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Like with guys, me and one of my best friends in the world kicked each other's asses. We're like brothers now.
Wow. Well, sometimes it happens like that, but like aside from that, like, cause I'm a teacher, so I know like years, you know, like, you know, you can like hit, you know, whatever, like at that time, but now it's different, you know, because it's like, gotta watch out, either watching or whatever. So what I do is like for like to bring it back, regroup, you know, constructive
Mhm.
criticism. I give them choices. I'm like, you can do this, like I told you to, or you can decide that you're gonna do that, but just know that you're not gonna get a full grade.
You have to suffer the consequences of your
Yep.
actions.
That's why everything that I do, like for working or whatever it is, I try and make sure it's redirected, you know, because at the end of the day, it's up to us to make that decision. Like, yes, you know, I have this condition or whatever, but it's up to you to be like, okay, I don't want to be stuck in this like stagnant situation. I know that I can make a better choice, you know, as a benefit. And, you know, like get through the day, or, you know, like eat something, or go contact a friend, or whatever little goals you have, you know. It's like the more you think like that, and it's like a positive attitude, you know, body positivity, whatever it is, it's gonna make you feel like, okay, like I am a somebody, you know, I am like useful, you know, I'm not like this dweeb or whatever, that's just kind of like whatever. But like it makes you feel good, because I've had those moments where I'm like, man, like am I really like, I don't know, like doing something in life? Like, am I just the one that's always giving but not receiving, or like whatever it is? You know what I mean?
The phrase I struggle with, and it applies mostly to this conversation, is there too. I am worthy and I am enough. Those are very,
Yes.
very hard to like believe.
Yes. Yep.
And my therapist wants me to say them all the time, but like we get in our heads, and it's so hard to
do.
convince ourselves that what we do, like as cosplayers, just in general, on this topic specifically, like you may put 200 hours into your costume and you're like, oh man, this is awful. I don't want to bring this anywhere. And we don't see it as enough, but you know, you might inspire the next generation. You might
Yep.
make a little kid's day. You might make some nerd at the convention be like, oh man, that obscure character. Exactly. You might
Right.
make them happy, which might validate you in that moment and make you feel like
Right.
it was worth it.
Yeah, it's like when I go to like some conventions before, like if I can tell, oh, like they made this, like I'm gonna hype them up.
Mhm.
Like I like your, I don't know, like
Exactly.
Zelda costume or your Link costume, which is pretty cool. Like that's badass. Like
Mhm.
you're doing great. Yeah.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Yes.
Yeah, you
That's
look
all.
awesome. You look awesome.
Yes.
Great. Now, I I'm very. I will let my friend know. Hey, you gotta fix this. You gotta fix this real quick. All right, you look good. Go out there, champ.
Yes.
And but that's another subject. Going back to the whole elitist, fake nerd, all that bullshit.
Right.
We have talked about that in the past before. The gatekeeping subject,
Yeah.
and that
Gaslight
is.
gatekeep girl boss.
And somebody asked, why do we like talk? Because I've seen other shows. So there's other podcasts out there,
Right. Right.
and they're more. I watch a few of them, and they're more like they will ask like, oh, what's your favorite anime? What's your favorite character? What do you like most about them? I don't like.
I
I
don't
can
give
ask
two
those
shits.
questions.
Right.
It's like I don't, because I don't watch enough anime to know what you're talking about. You
Me
know?
too. Me too.
Yeah, I was like, I could sit. That's why like we're so weird with this show. Like we were talking about like I said, we were talking about one subject,
Yeah.
and we started out of the blue. Me and Uzi and Sonic just started arguing about chicken.
Right.
What about chicken?
Remember that one
Oh
episode where we
shit!
just randomly started talking about fried chicken?
You mean last week?
No,
Talking
that was
about
2 weeks
Popeye?
ago. Yeah, we talking about Popeye.
Yeah, you talking
And the
about
reason
Popeye.
why we do it like a non-scripted, I know we do go off topic a lot, but the reason why we do an unscripted show, it's because we want people to see the more human side to the
Yes.
cosplayers
Yes.
and
It
to
feels
Yes.
more
these people.
natural.
It does. It
It
does feel
does.
more natural because honestly, people would rather they want to hear like, oh my god, they eat chicken,
They're
Yes.
real people just like us. Yeah.
they drink water and breathe oxygen. Oh shit!
Let's not
We
jump to
drink tea.
conclusions here.
Yes.
It's like
You sleep. You don't fart sprinkles.
It's a lot of
Uh,
glitter.
Right.
yeah, it really is. But like the mental health, it's something that we all. The first step to mental health is you have to acknowledge
Yes.
that you
Mhm.
have an issue. I know that sounds bad.
No,
No, but that's the truth. Like
that is.
that's the
Yeah.
first thing is like you gotta admit it. Like
Acceptance.
I have this, or I'm going through this, or I need to deal with this. Before it weighs off my shoulders. Like you have to admit it first.
The first step is right accepting. I think. Okay, so long story. I'm sorry, I keep doing this.
No, you're good.
Yeah,
The
that's-
first moment that I realized I needed help and I needed to see a therapist wasn't on my own volition. It was me watching one of my favorite YouTubers who was like just doing their own thing, doing a let's play, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, I have mental health issues," and they started talking about their story. And not to sound dramatic, but it literally like saved my life because at the time I was going through a breakup and I was going through financial hardship and I was literally sleeping on like a yoga mat on the floor and I was going to go over the edge, and them hearing somebody I admire talk about them being like, "Oh, I just needed help and I needed to figure out once you have a name you can attack it." Like, and that's what they did, and they helped me through a really dark time. But I think that comes from what you're saying, is that like you want to make this a non-scripted thing so that people can see the real side of a person and maybe help somebody who might be going through it right now.
Yeah, because people don't realize that the best example is that it's like Robin Williams. We
Yeah.
didn't know.
Mhm. Didn't know.
None of us knew. We always thought that he was happy because he was rich. But
And
It's
happy
the
just because of
happiest
how
people.
he actually, was in his movies and stuff.
Right.
and he was a comedian as well. You wouldn't
Mhm.
think like this guy's like living the dream, but you know, there's a reason why in these, because we literally we are taught to live our lives like, okay, and this is kind of going away. Like we're getting better with it, but we're taught like, okay, we're supposed to grow up, get a job that we're going to work the rest of our lives,
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
financially keeps us stable,
Right.
reproduce. So
Mhm.
we're supposed to wake up, work, pay bills, repeat.
Just do it over and over again. Wax on,
And
Yep.
wax off.
and
Yeah.
that and I hate those memes. They're like, oh, by 30 you should have this, you should have that. You should I
Right.
hate those fucking memes because first off, let's put it out there. What is minimum wage right now? What is minimum wage? It's like what,
It's
seven
not
something?
worth it, is what it is.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, wasn't it like six? Or like it's
Well, now
only
it's like I
increased.
think 7.25 like that.
Yeah, it used to
Sit
be
my ass at
6.11.
home and not bother.
Yeah, it used to
Yeah.
be like when I first started working, it was like 6.11.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's literally barely more than $1 difference.
Yeah.
You know, and you know what? The fucking Big Mac has gone up by $6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you know, someone, I either need to get a raise or I better get a. They need to start
I'm
lowering
the
their
free
prices.
sandwich.
Yeah, because the cost
Gimme.
of living is no longer affordable. Like, there's a
It's
reason
not.
people talk shit. Like, oh my god, I can't date a guy or girl that's got roommates. Like, don't be worrying about that.
How
Right.
do people not have roommates right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm making a lot more now, but I still can't afford to get a 2-bedroom apartment on my own. Because I want a 2-bedroom apartment, one for my own personal shit where you won't see my bed in the background,
Right.
you know, and the one room where I can stream and work from because I literally work and stream from my desk in
Right.
the house. And so it's and that makes you like feel like shit.
Yeah.
It really
Mhm.
does because it feels like you're in a never-ending battle to like, you know, and a lot of us don't want to be rich. We want to be, you know, our oil changed on time
Comfortable.
rich.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
gonna say
don't
no to being rich though.
right. No, I'm not gonna say no, but I don't wanna I don't wanna be poor. I wanna have enough money to the where when the check engine light comes on in my car, I don't ignore it.
Right.
Oh, the tape fell off. Let's cover that back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't hear the brakes going bad.
Just turn the
No.
radio up.
And like people are like,
Yeah.
you know, it's true, money can't buy you happiness. That
It
is
can buy
100.
security though, which is a
Yeah.
lot. It's very important, especially if you grew up like poor.
Yeah. It'll
If
get
you
these
grew up with your parents telling you about their financial issues, that's not okay for the child to be looped in on it.
Yeah.
Money can buy mental health though.
it,
Sure
it
can.
can
It can buy
buy
a therapist.
it can get them damn bill collectors off my ass. I don't even have an alarm anymore. They call me. I know exactly when they start calling.
After
I
Friday.
was a loner in high school, and they played a role. That played a role. Okay,
I think it's very important to remember, at least right now, especially for anybody who is struggling with money, is that our country, just in general, is in a weird situation right now.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get too much into that, but
I
it can't be like this forever.
I
And
will say
Right.
this as a Mexican citizen, this place sucks.
Don't disagree.
I'm white and I agree.
Jesus
I'm trying
Christ!
to leave.
I am getting a passport. I'm getting a Mexican passport, so when I go to other countries, they don't treat me like shit.
Oh, I'm gonna tell people I'm Canadian.
Yeah, but you'll have a U.S. passport.
Shh, they won't see it.
They won't see it.
That's true. That's
I'll
true.
fly back to the US.
I'm not gonna whip it out.
Right.
American, and cater to me, bitch.
We're trying to leave as well in the whole process, especially if you leave the country as an American citizen, you still have to pay American taxes, which doesn't make sense to me. You're living outside of the country unless you denounce your citizenship completely,
Which
and
ain't
then
free.
you have to pay a fee to do so.
I think it's $3,000.
Anything for capitalism.
Sam did
All
my
Right.
my
hand out of
friends
my
have tried to
pocket.
go to Japan.
Oh, you thought you could get away from us, huh? Well, that
Ha! Pay me
not
money.
for free.
It's a hostage situation.
You can't even die for free.
I'll let you out if you give me money.
It's human trafficking. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah, it is. And you know what's crazy is that when you think of and there's no shame in this. There's no shame in anybody listening that thinks this automatically. When you think of illegals coming into the country, your first thought is going to be somebody from Central America or South America.
Right. And that's what people don't understand. It's like if it's illegal, it's not just like Mexico or Central America. It could be any other country that's not affiliated with America. That's what they don't comprehend, that it could be like Indian, it could be Russian, Chinese, Japanese, Taiwan,
And that
all of those. That's
right,
illegal.
and that's crazy. It's crazy because Houston is the number one city for sex trafficking in the
Right.
country, and 80% of our illegal immigrants that come from here are Asian.
Right.
Really?
But
80%.
and that's why we have so many mental health issues, because not to exclude the Caucasian people in the group, but like it's crazy because we get the stereotypes, we get the hey, when I got into a car wreck and this lady's brother like hit me from behind and totaled my vehicle, and she showed up, and the first thing out of her mouth, the first fucking thing out of her mouth was, "Do any of y'all speak English?"
Okay.
And I was about to tell her, "No, I don't think so. I don't think we speak
No
English."
habla English.
Hey,
Says that in
Gary,
English.
Gary, do you speak English?
So I know I don't speak English.
And we deal with that shit a lot.
Mhm.
And like,
I'm not gonna pretend I understand. It's beyond my scope, and I support anything you gotta say.
Right.
well,
And then
that's
it's like
why.
Sometimes he
people
lies,
don't-
though.
Oh,
Don't support anything.
no, that's not
Well,
true. I'm not lying about that because that actually did happen with the car wreck.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
sorry to
true.
hear that experience.
The car
That's
wreck, almost
not
getting
fun.
deported at Anime Matsuri.
Oh,
What?
that's a
That was
Wow.
different.
Though.
That was different. That one was for because I decided to fuck.
That's kind of his own
Right.
fault on that.
Or people don't understand the geography. It was like in the 1800s before, Texas got like colonized, by the states. But they don't realize that it was Mexico before, and they're like named like San Antonio and Rio, those
Shit went
sites.
all the way up to Idaho.
You know
And I'm
what?
just like, what's not clicking? I was
We
like, oh
didn't
my
cross the
God.
border. The border crossed us.
Exactly.
It's
But
Yep.
like
very true.
It's
that
like in Fortnite,
contributes.
you don't get on the right side of the
But
red
we're not the
barrier.
only ones. People of color are not the only ones that experience
Right.
traumatizing. They have these traumatizing experiences. That's why we are very vocal about Black Lives Matter. That's why we were very vocal during Pride
Yeah.
Month. That's why we're very vocal about different things. Because
Right.
some of the people that hang out with us are part of the LGBTQ community, and whoever they sleep with, I have never given a shit about.
Yeah, I don't understand why that's an issue at all.
It's like my friends
As
like,
long
hey,
as it's like another participating adult, doesn't matter.
right. We have a friend that brags about sleeping with other dudes. I'm like, dude, I don't give a shit. You
Who
want a fucking
cares?
cookie? As a matter of fact, get out of here. You're
Like
pissing me off.
overwhelmed about it.
I don't want to
Stupid.
hear about dick.
Right.
I'm
It's
over
like,
here like,
it's
tell
like
me
I
more.
have right. It's like I have one, but I don't want to hear about it. It's like,
Like,
Look, I
truncate
don't,
of me,
got it.
please.
I don't want to
Right.
like. Please don't talk to me about dick while I'm eating a hot dog, please.
Oh,
Stop.
that's the best time.
Ask me about my wiener.
It's like, listen, asshole. You're the reason why I have to eat this with a knife and fork now.
Right.
No, but like I have friends like and I will like. We always have these big room parties. And our friends will not tell us when they walk off to be alone with their partner or with somebody they met,
Right.
or when it's a group activity. And I have walked into so much. I should start writing a book.
You should. I had one of my coworker teacher friends. They're like, you should write a book about your first year, and I was like, I should, because I'm not even, like, I got into teaching in January, so like I got in halfway through the year, so I'm like, yay, I'm finishing this week, which I'm so excited about. But still, like, it's not gonna be my first year yet until January, so I still have like half the year left. But I'm like, I could write a book about my experience my first
Yeah,
year.
but
I'm like,
that
bruh,
but that's why we try to help, because we try to be accepting.
right?
Like, hey man, I even make straight jokes at one of my friends. So fucking straight of you, dude. I don't know you anymore.
Right.
And then like one time he was going to the con and he was leaving with his boyfriend. I'm like, where are you going? He's like, I'm going to the con, but I just ordered pizza. I even got you the meat lovers. And he's all like, oh, you fucking asshole. And he's like, "What did you get? Pizza with tacos or jalapenos on it?" I'm like, "That does sound good, honestly."
Pretty
Did
good.
you get some tortillas with yours?
Right.
Because we'll throw shade at each other. He'll throw shade at me for being
Yeah.
Mexican. I'll throw shade at him for being super flamboyant.
But that's okay bullying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's fun bullying. You're poking fun at your friends. That's fine.
yeah. But when
Right,
somebody
that's-
fucks
that's
with him, I'm
different.
like, "Hey, man, we
yeah.
fucking with him. That's my white folk."
When
That's
it's your
my
friend,
white
just make
person,
me kill
yeah.
his balls. When they make fun
Yeah.
of your friend, you'll break their balls.
Yeah, for real. Like, don't be
For
messing
real.
with my white people. Find your own. All right. So, any last statements y'all would like to make about mental health? I know like I said, we do go off topic a lot, but I feel like sometimes the off topicness is good because it breaks that awkward tension.
Yeah.
Anything?
Um,
And we'll start with Kat. Miss Kat, is anything you would like to say? Any advice? Anything at all? Doesn't have to be a minute long. It could be a little longer.
Right,
You can go on
right.
another tangent.
I'll try not to. I think if you are struggling with mental health, everybody always says reach out. I think it helps to like reach within because sometimes we
Yes.
have to help ourselves and there's not always going to be an accepting hand. And that hurts, but we need to be the people that we would have felt safe with as a child. And that,
Yeah.
like, that's a almost hurtful sentence to myself just because, like, I got to call myself out sometimes. Like, there wasn't a lot of security for a lot of kids growing up.
Mhm.
And you might not have felt safe at school, you might not feel safe at home, but sometimes it's just not going to be like that forever. And
Right.
you need to be there for yourself. And it sounds harsh, but I think it's important to be our own advocates.
Yeah. So I shared the for anyone that might know somebody that needs it or they need it
Mhm.
themselves. There's no shame.
Oh no, none at all. No shame.
No, no. We will never. If we didn't shame you for the pineapple shit on the pizza, then you were definitely not going to shame you on this. So, yeah, no, thank you a lot. And you reminded me, so I also want to say thank you for reminding me about the hotline. Sometimes
Mhm.
random words will trigger memories completely out of the blue. You could
There's a
say,
word for that. I can't remember what it is.
I don't know what it is. Like you could say, "Man, I'm hungry." Oh shit! Oh, I forgot that I left the car running.
Pavlov.
Is that what it is?
It's a
A
Pavlovian
Pavlovian
response.
response.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
When you say something or it gives you a different reaction.
Okay, Mr. Legit,
Yes, sir.
what you got? What you got for us? Final.
Okay, so I would just, yeah, like you said earlier, or right now, Catnip, that it starts with you. So like I said before, that it starts with you. Like you're the last person, is you against yourself, you against your insecurities, you against your condition, whatever it is. Because like as soon as you wake up, especially tomorrow and every day, it's like whatever decision you make for yourself, you want to make sure it's a benefit. It's not gonna be a consequence. It's not gonna hinder you or belittle you or make you feel less worthy of what you are, what you should be, and where you like need to be at, whatever. But I would say it starts with yourself, and then once you do soul searching for yourself, whatever, then you admit it to yourself, like, hey, like I have this problem, I have this situation going on, I'm letting it out right now. That's cool. And then it's like after that, just find at least a person, like maybe it's someone on Discord or your best friend or whoever it is, to reach out to them, have that relationship to really help you out. So I would say that. So again, it's on the mind. So don't make like over because sometimes I'm an overthinker and I get stressed out like letting certain things that shouldn't happen like get to me or whatever. So just like it's just focus on your mind because that's where we do most of our decision making is in our mental state. So it's like before I let it get to me, let me take a deep breath, let me just go through it and see where I need to do. Don't like kind of freak out and don't take a deep breath. Like just take a deep breath, relax, you got this, you're cool, like don't let nothing get to you like that. So that's what I would say. It's just again, just to recap it, just soul search yourself, whatever it is, admit it that whatever you have going on, and then just reach out to someone and just take a deep breath. But you know the vibes.
Yeah, that's well. Thank you, Luciel. What you
What's
got?
up? it's okay to just exist, man. You don't
Yes.
have like it's like it's like like you don't have to have an extremely high end paying job. Just surviving because it's okay because existing is exhausting.
With that being said,
Yes.
though, at least budget yourself because
Definitely budget
if you don't
yourself.
have enough to eat, then you don't need to be an anime con spending $500 in the dealer's room.
Hard agree.
So
Yes.
existing is half the battle, honestly.
Yes.
If you get out of bed, like when I wake up, it takes me 10 minutes to gain the motivation to get out of bed, and I work from home,
Right.
so I literally
Mhm.
have no excuse to be late to work.
Same.
Traffic was hell this
Must be
morning.
nice. Must be nice.
What's up, Your Highness, the future world heavyweight champion?
Oh Jesus.
When you sign up with AEW, you make sure you come on this show.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Facts.
It's gonna be in Florida. But I don't know. I think we just need to talk more. I think we all just need to get together, talk to each other more. Like there are people I knew from like high school and stuff like that that I'll this pandemic every 4 or 5 months I'll still talk to them or try out or whatever. And that's kind of what anime conventions are too. You think about it, you're meeting people that you probably haven't seen in a year, and you're kind of sitting
Hmm.
down saying, "Hey, how you been? How you doing? You been happy lately?" And if they are, then it's cool. But if it's not, then you could kind of try to reach in and just talk to them about it and talk to them about the issues. I think that's what we just need to do. If we can just get together and kind of talk more, then that's how we can kind of prevent the
Yeah,
mental health from being so bad.
I'm I'm
So,
I'm glad you said something as well. If you know somebody that's going through mental health issues, reaching out to them, just saying hello, hey,
Mhm.
where's my
Right.
money, goes a long way. I mean, not the last one. I'll pay you back eventually. Uh, no, just reaching out, checking in on them, saying hello, hey, even if it's just a few words here and there, just checking in on them, texting them, good morning, anything like that. Hey, Jace, you got anything? Got anything for me? I know you got
Yeah,
kids and you wake up at 6 in the morning.
rude. You're
How's
not.
that rude? I'm looking out for you.
You have kids too.
No, that's rude.
As
I
far
keep
as in the cosplay community and your mental health is concerned, don't compare yourself to other people.
Right.
Don't compete with
Mhm.
them. There are other people too. They started off in the very beginning. Don't compete with them. Compete with yourself. At least then you have control over it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Just real quick, just wanted to make sure that, like I said, make sure you check in on your friends. If you have anyone, if you ever need to talk to somebody, you can reach out to us as well. We're always happy to hear you out. You can always ask questions. If you have any questions during our shows and you don't want them to be like to where everybody can see them, you can actually just message us on our Facebook page on Geeks Five Ever, or I wouldn't do the YouTube page because I don't check that. Um, but our Facebook page, our Geeks Five Ever as well. Um, just waking up and acknowledging that you have something. And for those of you that have friends that are going through something, it's like they said in Daredevil, when those that need you the most are pushing you away, you must find the strength to hold on tighter.
Yep.
yeah.
Mhm.
Just because somebody is pushing you away and ignoring you, if they have mental health issues, just keep pestering them. I know
Yep.
it feels like it's going to hurt them, but even a vaccine needle will hurt at first, and then it'll help
Yeah.
you get better.
Yep.
Yep.
Sometimes we pain. People say pain is weakness leaving the body. Well, mental health is just something that we have to help because it is pain as well,
Yep.
and and we have to help our friends, our partners, our family just not get over it, but to deal with it. We're not trying to get over the pain. We're trying to deal with it, acknowledge it, so it can dissolve on its own. And I know there are people that take medication. Don't ever shame anybody for taking medication. That's
Nope.
Right.
no, and don't shame anybody that there are a lot of people that have PTSD that smoke weed.
Right.
We 100% are for recreational drugs that help you, especially weed.
Yeah.
I'm not saying go out there and do a line of coke off someone's ass or tits. I'm not saying that. That is not dealing with mental health. Don't be me 10 years ago. I lived a wild life. Oh no, but once again, thank you, Miss Catnip Cosplay and legit
Yeah.
John Steve.
Of
This was a
course.
really good episode. I feel like we actually got to address a lot more. Because if we had been meeting Jace, we literally would have talked about mental health for like 20 minutes, and then we would have been like, remember
We
that
would
one
be
time I got
yelling at
drunk?
each other twice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be talking about getting drunk, and then he'd be throwing shit at me for getting drunk.
Here we go again.
Yeah, there you go. Another story about Goku doing something stupid. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. The links to the Instagrams and Linktree for Miss Catnip Cosplay are in the description below. Also, for legit JohnSteven is also in the description below. You can check out their Instagrams right now with all their cosplay photos. The Linktree for Miss Catnip, like I said, is also in the description. It's in the description for YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. To all of our viewers from Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button on YouTube to receive a notification every time we go live on YouTube. We have a very special podcast on Thursday that I have another guest that's going to come on. Miss, I want to get the cosplay name, get the cosplay page. Elizabeth Cosplay will be coming on here. Elizabeth Cosplay has cosplayed a lot of really good cosplays, especially from Fire Emblem. One of my favorite characters, Tharja, I think is her name. She cosplays her. Really great cosplayer. It's definitely coming on. And I would like to extend an invitation to Mr. Patrick to come on the show, and extend an invitation to the both of y'all to come back on the show.
Yeah,
Of
whenever
course.
you want
Yeah.
me.
Let us know. Because
Yeah.
I'll be done with work after this Friday, June 3rd. So after that I'll be free.
Yeah. So I mean, that's something we can discuss once it's no longer live. Like I said, everybody have a good night. Happy Memorial Day. I know it's pretty much over. Everyone's got to go back to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
I know
I
it
know.
sucks.
Yeah.
I got to wake up at 7 in the morning. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for Uzi and Your Highness for joining us as guests as well, guest host. All right, everybody, stay classy.
Bye, Felicia's.
Bye.
Bye.